Have you ever caught yourself imagining the worst-case scenario before anything even happens? One small problem turns into a disaster in your mind, and suddenly you're stuck in fear, stress, and anxiety that wasn't even real to begin with. That's what catastrophizing does to you. It takes a simple situation and convinces you everything is falling apart. You start overthinking, doubting yourself, and creating pain in your own mind. And the truth is, most of the things we fear never even happen, but the damage we do to ourselves in the process, that's real. In this audiobook, we're going to talk about how to stop making yourself miserable through catastrophizing. You'll learn why your brain jumps to the worst outcomes, how it affects your mood, and most importantly, how to break the cycle. I'll walk you through practical steps that actually work. Not just vague advice like think positive, but daily actions that can help you feel calm, in control, and emotionally stronger. You don't have to keep living in your head, fighting imaginary battles. There's a way to stop the spiral before it pulls you under. If you've been stuck in worry, self-doubt, or fear that keeps getting louder, this video is going to show you how to take your power back. Stick around, because by the end of this you'll have real tools you can use every day to feel more balanced, clear-minded, and focused on what actually matters. Let's get into it. Chapter 1. Identify your negative thought patterns in real time. You are not your thoughts. That's one of the most life-changing truths a person can learn. Yet, when you're caught in the middle of a negative spiral, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like the thoughts are you, that the fear, the anxiety, the worry, the hopeless predictions about the future, all of that feels real. And once it begins, it's hard to stop. You start with a single negative idea, and then that idea breeds another. Before long, your entire sense of the world is shaped by fear, doubt, and hopelessness. That's catastrophizing. And it's one of the quickest ways to destroy your peace, your emotional stability, and your mental health. You might not even realize it's happening. You might believe you're just being realistic. You might think you're preparing for the worst. But what you're actually doing is training your brain to expect danger where there is none. You're rehearsing emotional suffering before anything even goes wrong. And because the brain doesn't know the difference between what's vividly imagined and what's actually happening, your body reacts as if the catastrophe is real. That's why your heart races, your stomach turns, and your chest tightens. That's why your sleep is disturbed. That's why your energy is low. You are exhausting your nervous system with imaginary disasters. The first step to change is awareness. You cannot fix what you do not see. You must begin by identifying these negative thought patterns in real time, not after the spiral has taken over, not when you're already anxious and overwhelmed, but in the moment they begin. That moment is your point of power. Because if you can see it, you don't have to become it. If you can observe the pattern, you are not the pattern. You become the witness, and the witness always has the power to choose. So how do you do this in daily life? Start by slowing down your internal world just enough to notice what you're saying to yourself. Pay close attention to how you interpret challenges. If a friend doesn't reply to your message, do you assume they're ignoring you? If your manager says we need to talk, do you immediately imagine being fired? These are subtle thought habits, and they often happen so fast you don't even realize you're doing it. But if you slow it down, if you stop and listen carefully to your inner voice, you'll begin to catch the moment where the thought flips from neutral to negative. That's the moment to interrupt. You can't stop negative thoughts from arising altogether. No one can, but you can stop giving them power. You can notice the thought, recognize it as unhelpful, and refuse to follow it. That's what real power is. Not the absence of negative thoughts, but the ability to choose your response to them. Each time a negative thought arises, practice labeling it. Say to yourself, "This is a catastrophic thought." Give it a name. This helps you create space between you and the thought. You are not labeling yourself. You are labeling the pattern. The brain works through repetition, and for many years you've been reinforcing the wrong pattern. You've been training yourself to imagine the worst. So now you must reverse it. Each label, each interruption, each conscious observation sends a new signal to the brain. This is not helpful. I'm not giving this power anymore. Over time, the brain listens, it rewires, it changes. But you must be consistent. Awareness is not a one-time event. It's a skill. And like any skill, it improves with practice. Set daily reminders on your phone. Use simple affirmations like, "I choose peace over fear" when you catch yourself spiraling. Keep a small notebook and write down the negative thoughts you observe throughout the day. Don't judge them, just notice them. The goal is not to fight your mind, but to become so aware that the old patterns have nowhere to hide. There's something deeply empowering about recognizing your own mental habits. You begin to see how often your suffering is self-created. Not because you want to suffer, but because you've been unconsciously reacting to life through a distorted lens. When you begin to question that lens, you stop being a victim of your mind. You become the master of it. And that is the beginning of transformation. Sometimes, the patterns you uncover will be surprising. You might realize that you expect things to go wrong, even when everything is fine. You might notice that you minimize your achievements and amplify your flaws. You might discover a voice in your head that's constantly warning you of danger, telling you that you're not good enough, or smart enough, or prepared enough. That voice is not your enemy, but it is not your truth either. It is the echo of past experiences, painful moments, past failures, childhood fears, all collected over time and mistaken for reality. Once you begin to see that voice for what it is, you don't have to obey it. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to live your life according to it. You can start responding with clarity instead of reacting with fear. That's the gift of real-time awareness. It gives you the space to pause, and in that pause, everything changes. The Stoics taught that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. That lesson still applies today. Most of what causes anxiety and depression in the modern world is not actual danger, but imagined threat. Our minds become battlegrounds, constantly forecasting disaster, loss, rejection, failure. The irony is, the more we imagine those outcomes, the more we feel them. And the more we feel them, the more real they become. That's why it's not enough to think positively. You must learn to think clearly. Awareness is clarity. Clarity is freedom. So commit to catching your mind in the act. Notice the moment when your thoughts start to spiral. It might be when you're tired, or when you're alone, or when something small goes wrong. Pay attention to your triggers. Keep a record. Learn your own patterns. This self-awareness is not about control, it's about liberation. The more you understand your inner world, the less controlled you are by it. And when the negative thought comes, don't panic, don't resist, just pause. Breathe, label the thought. Remind yourself, this is not truth, this is a pattern, and then choose a better thought, even something simple. I am safe right now. I don't have all the facts. I will handle whatever comes. That choice shifts your energy. It interrupts the loop. It teaches your brain a new direction. One small choice at a time, one moment at a time, you reclaim your peace. Over time, you'll start to notice something incredible. The more you observe your thoughts without becoming them, the less power they have. The catastrophizing weakens. The noise quiets. Your nervous system calms. You become more grounded, more centered, more present. You stop living in future disasters. You return to this moment where everything is actually okay. This is not magic. It's discipline. It's daily practice. But the reward is your freedom, and it begins with one simple act: identifying your negative thought patterns in real time. That one act changes everything, because once you see the pattern, you can interrupt it. Once you interrupt it, you stop feeding it. And once you stop feeding it, you begin to build a different life, a life led by calm, clarity, and conscious action. And that's how real transformation begins. Chapter 2. Stop replaying worst-case scenarios in your mind. You are not here to live your life under the control of fear-filled fantasies. You are not here to mentally rehearse pain that hasn't happened and live as if it's already real. You are here to take full command of your mind, to build strength in your thoughts, and to reclaim the energy that you've unknowingly handed over to imagined disasters. The habit of replaying worst-case scenarios in your mind is not protection, it's self-sabotage disguised as preparation. And the longer you do it, the more you train your body to feel anxious even in moments of peace. It's time to break that cycle. Most people don't realize how often they let their minds drift into the territory of what might go wrong. They wake up in the morning and almost immediately begin forecasting negative outcomes. What if I mess up at work today? What if I say the wrong thing? What if I lose what I love? What if something goes terribly wrong and I can't handle it? These questions don't prepare you. They paralyze you. They keep you in a state of emotional survival, even when there's no threat around you. They keep you frozen in fear, disconnected from the present moment, and unable to enjoy the life you're actually living. When you constantly replay worst-case scenarios, your brain begins to adapt. It starts to believe that these imagined threats are real. Your nervous system activates. Stress hormones flood your body. Your breath shortens. Your muscles tense, your perception narrows, and even though nothing bad is actually happening, your body reacts as if it is. Over time, this becomes your baseline. You live on edge, constantly scanning for danger, always expecting something bad to happen. That's not just exhausting, it's damaging, and it's completely unnecessary. You must understand one thing: the mind loves to finish stories. And when you start a story with fear, your brain tries to complete it in the most intense way possible. It takes one negative thought and builds an entire false reality around it. You imagine yourself failing, falling, breaking, being rejected, getting sick, or losing everything. And it feels so vivid because your emotional memory is involved. You've practiced this thought so many times that your body doesn't even need evidence anymore. You've built a reflex of fear. To change this, you need more than just willpower. You need awareness and discipline. The moment you catch yourself mentally playing out something awful that hasn't happened, you must interrupt that movie. Don't try to finish it. Don't let your brain complete the horror film it's trying to run. Just stop. Recognize that this is not insight, it's imagination. It's not your intuition. It's a reflex. And you're not obligated to keep watching it. You must train your brain to see that your thoughts are not reality. They are suggestions, not commands. Just because you imagine something doesn't mean it's true. Just because you feel fear doesn't mean something bad is about to happen. You must learn to pause and separate the feeling from the fact. The fact is that right now, in this moment, you are safe. The worst has not happened. And if it ever does, you will deal with it then. But not now. Not before it's real. So how do you stop the cycle? First, pay attention to your internal language. The words you silently repeat shape the emotions you feel. If your thoughts begin with "what if," followed by something painful or catastrophic. Pause right there. That's the entry point. That's the beginning of a spiral you've repeated far too often. Don't go any further. Instead, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this real, or am I imagining? Has anything actually happened, or am I predicting again? What's the most empowering way I can respond right now? One of the most powerful things you can do is replace imagined suffering with intentional focus. When the mind starts projecting fear, shift your attention to something concrete in the present moment. Notice your breath. Feel your feet on the floor. Listen to the sounds around you. Bring your awareness back into your body. Catastrophizing lives in the future. Your strength lives in the present. The more time you spend grounded in the now, the less room your mind has to wander into fear. Another strategy that helps rewire the mind is deliberate visualization of best-case outcomes. If your brain wants to imagine something, give it something useful. Instead of playing the scene of failure, imagine success. Instead of mentally rehearsing embarrassment, rehearse calm confidence. Instead of visualizing loss, visualize growth. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a fearfully imagined future and a peacefully imagined one. It just reacts to what you give it. So give it peace. This doesn't mean you ignore challenges or pretend nothing can go wrong. It means you stop giving more attention to fear than to faith. It means you stop exhausting your energy on things that haven't even happened. It means you take back control of your mental habits and consciously direct your thoughts toward what strengthens you. You must also understand that this is not just about mindset, it's about chemistry. Every time you replay worst-case scenarios, you're flooding your body with stress chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline. These chemicals are helpful when there's a real emergency, but harmful when they're being triggered daily by imaginary ones. Chronic stress breaks down your health, weakens your immune system, and dulls your thinking. That's why it's not just a mental issue, it's a physical one too. And the good news is, you can reverse it. When you begin to cut off negative mental loops, your body notices. It begins to calm down. Your breath slows, your muscles release tension, your thoughts become clearer. And most importantly, you begin to feel safe again. Not because life has changed, but because your interpretation of life has changed. That's the true power of transformation. It starts in the mind and ripples outward into everything else. There's also a deeper reason why people replay worst-case scenarios. On some level, they think it gives them control. They believe that if they prepare for the worst, it won't feel so bad if it happens. But the truth is, it doesn't prepare you, it only drains you. When something truly challenging happens, your strength will come from your presence, not from the number of times you imagined it. So stop rehearsing pain. Start rehearsing calm. You'll need that calm far more than fear. If a real test ever comes, you can also build strength by writing down your repetitive fears. Don't keep them trapped in your mind. Get them out on paper. When you see them in front of you, they lose their power. They stop being endless loops and become defined sentences. And once they're defined, you can challenge them. You can question them. You can replace them. This daily practice of mental clarity rewires your nervous system to respond with intention instead of panic. Remember that every time you choose not to replay a worst-case scenario, you strengthen a new pattern. You are teaching your brain that peace is not just possible, it's your default. That you don't have to imagine suffering in order to survive. That you can be alert without being afraid. That you can handle life's uncertainty without mentally destroying yourself in advance. You have already survived everything life has thrown at you up until now. That's not a small thing, and none of it was made easier by worrying about it beforehand. The strength you need for the future is built by staying calm today. Every peaceful thought builds resilience. Every time you interrupt fear, you break a chain, and the more chains you break, the more free you become. Freedom begins with choice, and you have that choice in every moment. You can choose to play a movie of collapse, or you can choose to pause, breathe, and come back to what's real. What's real is the breath you're taking, the floor beneath your feet, the stillness available inside you when you're not feeding the chaos. That stillness is your foundation. Build on it every day. To live with peace doesn't mean you ignore problems. It means you stop mentally living through 1,000 painful outcomes that haven't happened. You meet life as it comes. You deal with facts, not fearful predictions. You stop borrowing pain from a future that doesn't exist. And in doing so, you reclaim your strength, your joy, and your focus. You have more control than you think, not over every event, but over your response to them. And when your response is rooted in clarity, instead of catastrophe, your entire life begins to change. You stop bracing for impact. You stop waiting for something to go wrong. You begin to live fully, here, now. This is what healing looks like. Not the absence of fear, but the ability to observe fear and not obey it. To see the spiral beginning and step out of it before it takes over. To return to the breath, to come back to yourself, to build your peace one thought at a time. You are not your worst case scenario. You never were. You are not your fear. You are not your imagination. You are the one who notices, the one who chooses, the one who can stop the movie and decide to live instead. That power is already in you. Use it. Every day, every thought, every time fear tries to take the wheel. Remember, you are not here to suffer from futures that don't exist. You are here to lead your mind, not follow it blindly. That's how you stop replaying worst-case scenarios and start living your real life. Chapter 3. Focus attention on what feels calm and stable. Your peace is not hiding from you. It's been waiting for you to stop chasing chaos and finally pay attention. In a world that constantly pushes you to react, to rush, to obsess, and to overthink, the real power lies in slowing down and locking your attention onto what is calm, grounded, and unshaken. That is where your clarity lives. That is where your strength rebuilds itself. Not in the storm, not in the noise, but in the steady silence you've been too distracted to notice. You've been taught to measure your worth by how busy you are, how much you can handle, how quickly you can respond to the next demand. But that mentality has a cost. It scatters your mind, exhausts your nervous system, and keeps you stuck in a cycle of unrest. You cannot think clearly when your focus is scattered in 10 different directions. You cannot feel grounded when your mind is constantly racing toward things that unsettle you. And you cannot grow stronger if you keep placing your attention on what shakes you instead of what steadies you. Right now, you need to remind yourself of this truth. You have the power to choose what you focus on. That power alone can transform your entire life. If you keep feeding your attention to thoughts that trigger anxiety, your experience will be drenched in tension. If you keep obsessing over everything that's unstable, you'll start believing that instability is the norm. But if you start focusing on what brings calm, on what feels steady and quiet and true, then you will begin to experience life through a completely different lens. Not because your circumstances change overnight, but because your perception does. Your attention is your energy. Wherever it goes, your mind follows. If your attention is drawn to things that drain you, confuse you, or stir up emotional noise, that becomes your reality. You start living in a state of emotional reaction instead of intentional response. But when you discipline your attention to stay on what is calm, your mind becomes a safe place again. You begin to feel more in control, more grounded, more balanced, even when life throws challenges your way. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. This is about choosing to focus on what keeps you centered even in the middle of the storm. It's about learning to anchor yourself to the stillness that already exists inside you. That stillness is always available, but it requires practice to reach it. Most people never slow down long enough to notice it. They keep reacting to everything that grabs their attention and wonder why they feel overwhelmed. You don't have to live like that anymore. Start noticing what makes you feel calm, not just temporarily distracted, but deeply grounded. Is it the sound of your breath, the feeling of your feet on the ground, a certain time of day where your mind is quieter, a place where you feel safe, a memory that reminds you of your strength? Focus on these things deliberately, not once, not twice. Every single day. This is how you recondition your nervous system. This is how you build a foundation of mental stability. Think about this: when you walk into a room full of loud noise, you instantly feel agitated. But when you step into a space that is quiet and still, your whole system relaxes. The same is true inside your mind. You are constantly walking into mental rooms that are either filled with noise or filled with peace, and you get to decide which rooms you spend time in. You get to build new ones. But you have to train your focus to stop wandering back into the mental chaos that used to feel normal. When you consciously redirect your attention, you're not running away from reality, you're shaping your experience of it. You're choosing what you magnify. You're building emotional strength by staying close to what gives you balance. That could be a thought, a habit, a place, or a person. But whatever it is, you need to recognize it and return to it often. This is not just a feel-good practice. This is survival. This is what protects your peace in a world that profits from your distraction. We live in a time where everything is trying to hijack your attention. Social media, news, notifications, comparison, fear. It's all designed to keep your focus stuck on what is unstable. Why? Because a distracted mind is easier to control, but a focused mind is dangerous. A focused mind cannot be manipulated. A focused mind is free. That's why this work matters. Because every time you choose calm over chaos, you reclaim a piece of yourself. You don't have to respond to everything that happens. You don't have to solve every problem in your head before it even exists. You don't have to carry every burden the world tries to throw at you. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is pause, breathe, and put your attention back on what is calm. Let that be your new habit. Let that be your new strength. Because from that place you can respond with clarity instead of panic. You can choose your actions instead of being dragged by your reactions. The mind is like a spotlight. It will illuminate whatever you point it at. If you shine it on what scares you, that fear will grow larger in your vision. If you shine it on what calms you, that calm expands. Your job is to train your spotlight. To stop pointing it at everything that disturbs your peace, and start directing it toward what strengthens your spirit. This takes effort. It takes discipline. But the reward is a life that feels internally solid, even if the external world is shaky. You might have moments where your mind tries to pull you back into the chaos. That's normal. The brain is used to going where it always goes. But every time you bring it back, you build a new pathway. Every time you choose calm over panic, stability over fear, presence over distraction, you rewire your inner world. And with enough repetition, that new pathway becomes your default. That is how transformation happens. Quietly, gradually, through daily redirection. Start with small things. When you notice yourself getting anxious, shift your focus to your breath. When you feel overwhelmed, pay attention to something stable in your environment. It could be the sensation of sitting on a chair, the weight of your hands, the rhythm of your breathing. These seem simple, but they work because they bring your attention back to what is real. Not the imagined chaos, but the actual moment in front of you. Eventually this becomes a way of life. You stop feeding energy into things that don't matter. You stop being pulled into emotional whirlwinds. You become steady. Even when things around you are uncertain, people will notice. They'll ask how you stay so calm. And the truth is, it won't be because your life got easier. It'll be because your focus got sharper. You stopped wasting attention on what you couldn't control. You started investing it in what you could. Your attention is your greatest tool. It decides your emotional experience. It decides your mental health. It decides your level of energy, your clarity, your ability to handle life. And yet most people give it away carelessly. You must stop doing that. Your attention is sacred. Use it wisely. Give it only to the thoughts, environments, and actions that bring you back to who you really are. Calm, capable, focused, grounded. You won't always feel stable. That's okay. The goal isn't perfection, it's awareness. The moment you notice your focus drifting into tension, you have the power to pull it back. The more you practice this, the more emotionally intelligent you become. You stop reacting to everything. You become the observer, the guide, the one who decides where the energy goes. This is not about ignoring difficulty. It's about refusing to let difficulty become your mental home. It's about recognizing that even in the middle of hardship, there is always something stable to hold on to. Your breath, your values, your inner voice. A small action done with full presence, these are your anchors. Return to them. Let them remind you that you are not the chaos, you are the calm within it. The real transformation begins when you no longer need external situations to be calm in order for you to feel calm. When you can stay grounded in your own stillness, even when the outside world is chaotic, you've unlocked a new level of power. Because now, your peace is no longer dependent on perfect circumstances. It's internal. It's earned. It's chosen. Keep reminding yourself where your attention goes, your life flows. Focus on what feels calm. Focus on what feels steady. Focus on what reminds you of your strength. Not just when things are easy, but especially when things are difficult. That's when it matters most. That's when your training pays off. That's when your character sharpens. Not by reacting to everything, but by staying grounded through anything. You are not here to be overwhelmed. You are here to become so centered, so focused, so rooted in peace that nothing can shake you for long. That's possible for you. It begins with the choice to stop feeding what makes you anxious, and to start feeding what brings you back to life. Every moment, every breath, every thought. Choose calm. Focus on it until it becomes who you are. Chapter 4. Practice slowing your breath to calm your brain. You have more power over your mind than you think. You just haven't learned how to use your breath as the key to unlock it. In the middle of mental chaos, in the grip of pressure, in the heat of anxiety, there's a silent tool that's been with you your whole life: your breath. And when you slow it down deliberately, you calm your brain. Not in theory, in reality. You shift your biology, you soften your mind, you stop the spiral. You don't need more noise, you don't need more advice, you don't need more stimulation. What you need is to come back to your breath again and again until it becomes your first instinct in the face of stress, not your last resort. This isn't a ritual. It's not a gimmick. It's science, discipline, and personal power all rolled into one invisible force. One slow breath can interrupt an anxious loop. One deep inhale can clear mental fog. One full exhale can bring you back to the moment. This is where control begins, inside your lungs. Most people think the mind controls the body, but what they don't realize is the body controls the mind too. When your breath is shallow and rushed, your nervous system assumes something is wrong. Your brain reacts with tension, urgency, panic. Your thoughts become scattered, your muscles tighten, your focus weakens. You lose presence, you lose composure, you slip into survival mode. But when you slow your breath down on purpose, you send a message in the opposite direction. You tell your brain, we are safe, we are clear, we are calm, and your body responds with peace. This is not abstract, it is measurable. Studies have shown that slow, deep breathing reduces cortisol, the stress hormone. It boosts oxygen to the brain. It increases heart rate variability, a sign of emotional resilience. It enhances decision-making and sharpens focus. But even more than that, it reminds you that you are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You are the one in control. You are the observer. You are the calm force behind the mental noise. When you make a habit of slowing your breath, you teach your brain how to stay calm even when life gets loud. You begin to retrain your internal system to respond with awareness instead of panic. You stop letting emotions take the wheel. You stop reacting to every trigger. You begin to notice that every moment offers a choice, and it starts with how you breathe. Think about the last time you were stressed. How were you breathing? Probably fast, shallow and tight. You weren't even aware of it. That's the problem. Most people live like that every day, stuck in unconscious breath patterns that fuel mental chaos. But the moment you slow down your breathing, you interrupt that cycle. You put your hands back on the steering wheel. You reclaim your mental space. This is not about perfection. It's not about becoming some unshakable robot. It's about creating space between stimulus and response. It's about using your breath to anchor your awareness. It's about pausing before you explode. It's about staying connected to yourself when the world around you tries to pull you away. And you don't need an app, a mat or a special environment to do this. You only need your lungs and your willingness to slow down. Start small. Right now, slow your breath. Inhale through your nose slowly. 4 seconds, hold it. Then exhale for 6. Do it again. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let your thoughts pass like clouds. That's it. That's the practice. It's simple but it's powerful, and with repetition it changes the way you move through life. You will face pressure. You will feel overwhelmed. You will get triggered. That's life. But you don't have to be a prisoner of your reactions. You can train your mind to stay grounded. You can use your breath as your reset button. You can develop the ability to pause, to think clearly, to lead yourself with stability when others are falling apart. That is real strength. That is real power. And it's already inside you. Most people never access this tool because they're addicted to mental speed. They rush through their days without taking a conscious breath. They push through discomfort without ever learning how to reset their nervous system. They collapse under pressure because they've never practiced calming themselves when it matters most. Don't let that be you. Build the skill. Practice it when things are calm, so it's available when things are not. Slowing your breath isn't just about stress relief. It's about preparation. It's how you build emotional durability. It's how you face uncertainty with clarity instead of fear. It's how you think under pressure. Speak with composure. Move with intention. That's what separates the reactive from the resilient, the scattered from the focused, the anxious from the calm. Every time you consciously slow your breathing, you become a little more resilient. You teach your brain that pressure is not danger. You expand the space in your mind for better decisions. You give yourself room to think clearly, even when your environment is chaotic. And with enough repetition, this becomes who you are. Not someone who panics, but someone who pauses. Not someone who spirals, but someone who steadies. You will be tested. You will face moments where your emotions try to hijack your mind. You will feel the pull to react impulsively. But if you've built the habit of slowing your breath, you will have a tool that grounds you instantly. And in that moment, everything changes. You don't have to say the thing you'll regret. You don't have to act out of fear. You don't have to drown in overthinking. You simply breathe and return to your center. This is how leaders are made. This is how strong minds are built. Not by avoiding difficulty, but by staying composed in the middle of it. And the most powerful tool to develop that composure is already with you, your breath. You've been breathing your whole life, but now it's time to do it with purpose, with intention, with awareness, because every breath you take with awareness becomes a vote for your clarity. Don't wait for panic to strike. Before you start practicing this, make it part of your daily rhythm. In the morning, before you check your phone, take 3 slow breaths. In the middle of a stressful conversation, pause and breathe instead of reacting. Before you go to sleep, use your breath to slow your heart and quiet your mind. These small moments add up. They rewire your baseline. They change how you experience pressure. Eventually, you'll notice a shift. You'll feel more centered, even in chaos. You'll think more clearly, even under tension. You'll move more deliberately, even in urgency, because your breath will be your anchor, not your panic, not your thoughts, not your fear. That's the difference between reacting and leading yourself. That's the difference between surviving and growing through pressure. The mind loves to race. It loves to predict, worry, overanalyze. But when the breath slows down, the mind follows. That's how you interrupt the momentum of anxiety. That's how you disrupt the cycle of overthinking. Not by yelling at your brain to calm down, but by showing it how. Breath is the teacher. Breath is the regulator. Breath is the healer. No one can do this for you. You have to make the decision to use your breath on purpose. You have to train your body to stay calm under fire. You have to put in the reps. Not just once, not just when it's convenient, but until it becomes second nature. That's the cost of peace. That's the price of clarity. And it's worth it, because the day will come when everything feels like it's collapsing. The pressure will rise. The uncertainty will grow. The noise will be deafening. And in that moment, the only thing that will keep you from crumbling is the strength you've built by slowing down your breath. That's your edge. That's your advantage. That's how you win in silence. You don't need to fix every thought. You don't need to control every outcome. You just need to breathe. Slowly, deliberately, deeply, over and over, until your mind remembers what calm feels like. Until your body remembers what safety feels like. Until you remember that no matter how loud the world gets, you still have the power to return to stillness. And that is the foundation of everything. Peace, clarity, composure, strength. All of it begins when you take control of the one thing you can always influence: your breath. So start now. Not tomorrow. Not when things are perfect. Now. Because this is where your power lives. Right here. In this breath, in this moment, slow it down and watch your mind follow.
Chapter 5. Use daily meditation to reset emotional balance now. You can train your emotions the same way you train your body, by showing up every day and putting in the work even when you don't feel like it. Meditation isn't about escaping life. It's about facing it with more strength, more clarity, and more emotional control. If you've ever felt like your reactions are running your life, it's time to sit down, close your eyes, and take command of your inner world.
because your mind can become your strongest ally, but only if you teach it how to stay calm in the middle of chaos. Daily meditation isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. In a world that constantly pulls you in every direction, you need something that brings you back to center. You need a habit that clears out the noise, filters your thoughts, and reminds you of who you are when everything outside of you is unstable. That's what meditation does. It resets your emotional balance and strengthens your ability to stay composed, no matter what's happening around you. Every time you sit in silence and observe your mind, you're not wasting time. You're sharpening your awareness and building the foundation for resilience. You don't have to be a monk. You don't need incense, candles, or a perfect setting. You just need the discipline to be still. That's where the transformation begins, not in action, but in the stillness before the action. The world will always demand your attention, but meditation teaches you how to protect your focus. It trains you to stay grounded when the pressure builds. It gives you the space to respond with intelligence instead of reacting with emotion. That kind of control is rare, but it's available to anyone who's willing to practice daily. Most people never slow down long enough to understand what's actually going on inside them. They stay distracted, they avoid discomfort, and they live their lives on autopilot. But you don't grow by avoiding your emotions. You grow by sitting with them, observing them, and learning from them. Meditation gives you the mental space to do that without judgment. You begin to see your emotions for what they are, temporary visitors, not permanent residents. You stop identifying with every thought and start developing the ability to let things pass without getting pulled into them. This isn't about perfection. Meditation doesn't erase negative emotions. It teaches you how to navigate them. You'll still feel anger, stress, fear, sadness, but instead of being consumed by those feelings, you'll start noticing them as patterns. You'll recognize when your energy is off, and you'll have the internal strength to shift it. This is what separates reactive people from balanced ones. It's not that they never feel chaos, it's that they know how to return to peace. Every time you sit down to meditate, even for 5 minutes, you're telling your nervous system, I am in control. You're choosing to create space between what you feel and how you act. That space is where your power lives. In that space you reclaim your decisions. You become less impulsive and more intentional. You stop being a slave to mood swings and start developing the ability to carry calm within you, even in high-stress moments. Meditation also sharpens your awareness. You start noticing the subtle ways your mind tries to sabotage you. You hear the inner critic. You see the mental habits that create anxiety. You recognize the stories you keep telling yourself, and once you see them clearly, you stop believing all of them. That kind of self-awareness is rare. Most people live their whole lives controlled by thoughts they never examine. But when you meditate daily, you turn the light inward. You reveal the mental clutter that's been weighing you down, and you begin clearing it out one breath at a time. You're not weak for needing balance. You're not soft for wanting clarity. You're smart for recognizing that your inner world is what determines how you experience your outer world. Meditation is how you train your emotional muscles, and just like going to the gym, it's not about a one-time session, it's about repetition, consistency, showing up even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it, because those are the moments when you need it most. The people who succeed long-term are not the ones who never get knocked down, they're the ones who know how to reset. They know how to come back to neutral. They know how to get still, get clear, and realign with their values. Meditation gives you that skill. It becomes your reset button. No matter how far you spiral, you always have a way back. You always have access to your calm. That's not weakness, that's mastery. You will have days when your mind is loud, when thoughts won't stop, when sitting still feels impossible. That's okay. The goal isn't to silence the mind. The goal is to become the observer, to notice what's happening without getting swept away by it. You train that skill every time you sit down and return to your breath, your body, the present moment. And over time that practice begins to rewire how you move through life. You stop needing validation from outside. You stop chasing distractions to escape your feelings. You stop relying on circumstances to determine your mood. Because you've learned to create peace within yourself, and that kind of peace cannot be shaken by what's happening outside of you. It's real, it's earned, and it becomes your anchor. This world is noisy. It thrives on urgency, stimulation, and distraction. But you don't have to move at that speed. You don't have to carry that chaos. You can slow down. You can sit down. You can breathe. And in that space you begin to remember who you really are. Not just someone reacting to life, but someone intentionally creating it. Meditation brings you back to your inner authority. It doesn't matter if you start with 1 minute or 20. What matters is that you do it daily, that you build the habit of returning to yourself. Some days will feel powerful, others will feel frustrating, but every session counts. Every sit trains your awareness. Every pause strengthens your ability to stay calm when life gets turbulent. That's the point. Not perfection, but practice. This isn't spiritual fluff. This is mental training. This is emotional resilience. This is how you lead yourself with strength instead of being pushed around by every emotion that rises. The world won't get quieter, but your mind can. You don't need to escape life to find peace. You just need to create space for stillness, even for a few minutes a day. That's where balance is built. You don't have to be enlightened. You don't have to sit like a statue. You just have to close your eyes, feel your breath, and be with whatever's there. That's real courage. Not running from your mind, but facing it with steady attention. That's how you break the cycle of emotional chaos. That's how you rise above reactivity. That's how you create stability in a world that tries to shake you. Every day you meditate, you become more emotionally mature. You become less reactive, more thoughtful. You stop letting external events control your inner state. You develop the power to stay calm without needing circumstances to change. That's rare. That's powerful. And it's available to you right now. You might think you don't have time to meditate, but that's like saying you don't have time to breathe. This isn't extra. It's essential. If you're constantly overwhelmed, burned out, or emotionally unstable, it's not because life is too much. It's because you haven't built a system to come back to balance. Meditation is that system. It clears the fog. It softens the panic. It brings you back to the present, where real power lives. You don't have to fix everything in your life. You just need to build the habit of coming home to your mind, your breath, your awareness. That's the beginning of change. That's the foundation of emotional control. When your inner world is stable, your outer world becomes manageable. Not perfect, but no longer overwhelming. Start today. Sit for 2 minutes. Don't overthink it. Don't try to do it right. Just do it. And then do it again tomorrow. Build the muscle. Show up daily. And over time you will feel the difference. You will think clearer. You will respond better. You will feel more grounded. Even when nothing around you has changed. Because you've changed. You've built emotional strength from the inside out. That's what meditation gives you. And no one can take that away. Chapter 6. Break the habit of overthinking through mindful awareness. You are not your thoughts, and the faster you learn that, the freer your life becomes. Overthinking is not a sign of intelligence. It's a signal that your mind is looping without direction, draining your energy without giving you progress. The habit of overthinking is one of the biggest silent destroyers of potential, confidence, and peace. It traps you in a cycle of fear, self-doubt, and paralysis. You end up reliving problems, rehearsing pain, and predicting failure before anything even happens. But there is a way out, and it begins with learning how to observe your mind without becoming enslaved by it. Mindful awareness is the tool that turns the noise down and gives you control back. It's not about controlling every thought, but about noticing what's happening inside you without judgment. That simple shift from reacting to observing breaks the mental loop that fuels overthinking. Because when you're stuck in your head, you're not living. You're analyzing life instead of experiencing it. Mindfulness interrupts that pattern and anchors you in the present moment, where life actually happens. You don't have to chase peace. You have to stop feeding the chaos. Every time you catch yourself spiraling through what-ifs, regrets, or imaginary arguments, that's an opportunity to come back to now, to this moment, to what you can feel, hear, see, and influence. That's where power is, not in the fantasy of the past or the illusion of the future, but in your attention. What you give attention to grows. So if you constantly feed the mind's storms, they'll expand. But if you bring your awareness to the present, over and over again, you start to break the momentum of mental noise. The hardest part is noticing when you're overthinking, because it feels normal. It feels like you're being responsible. It feels like you're preparing, but you're not. You're stuck. You're exhausting yourself trying to solve problems that don't exist yet or can't be fixed with thought alone. Mindfulness trains you to see that difference. It teaches you to pause, breathe, and ask, is this useful? Is this helping me take action? Or am I just spinning? The truth is, most of what you overthink never even happens. You create imaginary battles and then suffer through them as if they're real. You replay conversations, overanalyze glances, and second-guess your choices to the point where you lose all confidence. That's what the habit does. It steals your peace and your presence. But it's a habit, and habits can be broken with intention and practice. That's where mindful awareness comes in. It's not a trick, it's a lifestyle. It's the decision to be aware of what your mind is doing without letting it run your life. When you bring awareness to your thoughts, without attaching to them, they start to lose their grip. You begin to see them like clouds passing through the sky, temporary, shifting, not something you have to chase or fight. You realize you can feel uncertainty without trying to fix it. You can sit with discomfort without needing to solve it. That kind of internal strength is rare, but it's what frees you from compulsive thinking. The key is consistency. You don't wait until your mind is racing to practice awareness. You build it daily. You set time aside to notice your breath, your body, your surroundings. You listen instead of reacting. You observe without jumping in. You let thoughts come and go like background noise without needing to answer them. This isn't passive, it's powerful because it puts you in the position of choice instead of compulsion. And when you start living with that kind of presence, everything changes. You don't need every answer. You don't chase certainty. You start trusting that you can handle life as it comes, instead of preparing for every possible disaster in advance. You simplify your thinking. You quiet your reactions. You create mental space for real decisions, instead of panic-driven ones. It doesn't mean you won't still have thoughts. It means you won't be controlled by them. You'll recognize the ones that are based in fear, the ones that come from self-doubt, the ones that are just noise. And you'll stop giving all of them the same weight. That's how you build a stable mind. Not by silencing your thoughts, but by no longer being dragged by them. And that awareness spills into every area of life. In relationships, you stop assuming the worst and start listening with presence. In work, you stop second-guessing and start acting with clarity. In your personal growth, you stop avoiding discomfort and start facing it directly. Mindfulness isn't about escape. It's about engaging with life in a focused, grounded way. The world is full of distractions. Your mind is conditioned to jump from one worry to another. But every time you bring it back, you're rewiring your brain. You're creating new mental pathways. You're teaching yourself that not every thought deserves a response. Not every worry needs to be solved. Sometimes, the strongest move is to notice and let go. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes. You won't always catch yourself right away. That's okay. Awareness is a muscle. You build it through repetition, not perfection. What matters is that you begin, that you create a new default, not stress and over-analysis, but presence and clarity. That's how you stop living in your head and start living your life. And you'll notice something powerful as this shift happens. You'll feel lighter, freer, more in control, not because your life has changed, but because your relationship with your thoughts has. You're no longer giving your energy to every mental story. You're no longer drowning in what-ifs. You're choosing what deserves your attention and ignoring what doesn't. That's liberation. That's peace. And it's not found in fixing everything. It's found in observing everything with calm. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to be fully present with the questions. To sit with the unknown without panic. To experience life without needing to analyze every part of it. Your mind will still try to pull you back into overthinking. It's wired that way, but now you know the way out. Now you have the awareness to pause, notice and return. And every time you do that, you weaken the habit. You strengthen your presence. You grow more grounded, more focused, more alive. You don't need more thoughts. You need more awareness. You don't need to solve every problem. You need to be awake enough to know which ones even matter. And you don't need to live in your head. You need to come home to your body, your breath, your now. Because that's where life is. That's where you are. Overthinking is not who you are. It's a habit you learned. And mindfulness is the skill that unlearns it. Not overnight. Not instantly. But surely, steadily, deeply. So start now. Not later. Not when life is perfect. Start where you are, with what you feel, and breathe through it. You don't need to escape your mind. You just need to understand it. And awareness is the doorway to that understanding. Step through it, every day. That's how you break the cycle. That's how you return to peace. That's how you take your power back. Chapter 7. Train your body to feel peace instead of fear. You have the power to control your body and train it to respond with peace instead of fear. Your body is a mirror of your mind, but it doesn't have to be a slave to the mental chaos that surrounds you. When fear grips your chest, when anxiety floods your veins, when stress tightens your muscles, it's not just your thoughts that are running the show. Your body is reacting, and you're allowing it to control your emotional state. But here's the powerful truth. You can teach your body to feel peace instead of fear, to respond with calm instead of chaos. Fear is a natural response. It has served you in the past. It kept you alert and safe when danger lurked. But in the modern world, most of what we fear is imaginary. It's not the lion chasing you, it's the deadline, the judgment, the fear of the unknown. And your body reacts as if it's life or death, sending out stress hormones, tensing your muscles, shortening your breath. You feel the physical manifestation of fear in your chest, in your stomach, in your back, and in your mind. But what if you could train yourself to feel peace instead? What if you could rewire your body's reaction to stress and replace it with something more powerful, calm, stability, control? The first step is awareness. You have to be able to recognize when your body is reacting out of fear. The moment you feel that tightness in your chest or that racing heart, you must stop and become aware of what's happening inside you. You are not the fear. The fear is something your body is experiencing in reaction to the world around you. You have a choice to feed that fear with your attention or to replace it with something more empowering. The next step is breathing. In moments of stress or fear, the first thing that gets affected is your breath. You might start breathing shallow, quick breaths that only escalate the feelings of anxiety. But here's the thing, you can train your body to feel peace by changing how you breathe. Deep, slow breathing triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for calming the body down. It slows your heart rate, lowers your blood pressure, and relaxes your muscles. The more you practice this deep breathing, the more you train your body to respond to stress with calm instead of fear. Practice breathing in slowly for 4 seconds, holding for 4, and then exhaling slowly for 4 seconds. As you do this, imagine that you are exhaling all the tension and fear. You are releasing the tightness in your body. With every breath, you are teaching your body that it is safe. You are rewiring the physical response to stress. The more consistently you practice this, the more automatic it becomes. Next, bring your focus to your body. When fear grips you, your mind races, and you lose touch with your physical self. You become so absorbed in your thoughts and emotions that you forget you have control over your body. You forget that you can ground yourself in the present moment by focusing on the physical sensations of your body. Bring your awareness to your feet, your legs, your hands, your arms, your neck. Feel the connection to the ground beneath you. Feel the weight of your body. This is the key to breaking the cycle of fear. By focusing on your body, you stop the runaway train of thoughts and bring your awareness back to the present. This is where peace is found. When you focus on what you can control right now, you can control your breath. You can control your posture. You can choose to relax your shoulders instead of letting them tense up. You can unclench your fists instead of letting them ball up in fear. You may not always feel peace immediately, and that's okay. The process of training your body to respond with calm takes time and practice. But every time you choose to breathe deeply, to focus on the present moment, to relax your muscles instead of tense them, you are training your body to feel peace. You're teaching it that fear does not have to be your default response. Peace can be. It is simply a matter of shifting your focus, of practicing the skills that allow you to control your reactions. Another powerful way to train your body to feel peace is through physical activity. Exercise has long been known to reduce stress, but it's not just about sweating it out. It's about connecting with your body, moving with purpose, and releasing tension. Whether it's yoga, weightlifting, running, or even walking, physical activity allows you to redirect your energy from anxiety into movement. It helps break the cycle of fear and puts you in touch with your body in a way that fosters calm, the rhythm of your breath, the movement of your muscles, the feeling of your body strengthening itself. This brings a sense of peace that the mind cannot deny. The more you incorporate physical movement into your life, the more your body will respond to stress with a sense of calm and control. Your mind and body are deeply connected, and the way you move and treat your body can directly affect how you feel. The posture you adopt can also influence how you feel. When you're anxious, your body instinctively contracts. You may slouch, hunch your shoulders, and tighten your jaw. These physical signs of fear reinforce the mental state. But the opposite is true as well. When you stand tall, with your shoulders back and your chest open, your body signals to your mind that you are in control, you are confident, you are safe. This simple shift in posture can make a profound difference in how you feel. So when fear arises, stand tall, take up space, feel your strength. This physical act sends powerful signals to your mind, telling it that you are not in danger, you are calm, you are grounded. The next key component is consistency. You don't change a habit overnight, but with every practice session, with every moment where you breathe deeply, focus on your body, and shift your posture, you create new neural pathways. You strengthen the connection between your body and peace. You retrain your nervous system. Over time, your body learns that it doesn't need to respond with fear. It can respond with peace, with calm, with grounded confidence. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to choose peace over fear when life gets tough. It's also important to recognize the moments when fear is not useful. Fear is an emotion designed to alert you to danger, but often it becomes a reflex that overpowers your rational mind. When you start to feel fear in situations where it's unwarranted, remind yourself that you are safe. Look around you. Assess the situation. Is this something you need to fear? Most likely, it's not. Fear is a habit, and habits can be changed. One of the most empowering steps you can take is to consistently practice self-compassion. When you feel fear, don't criticize yourself for feeling it. Instead, acknowledge it. Recognize that it's just a natural response. But don't let it control you. Treat yourself with kindness in those moments. Talk to yourself like you would talk to a close friend who is scared. It's okay. You're safe. You can handle this. Let's take a deep breath together. This self-compassion breaks the cycle of fear and shame and opens the door to calm. Ultimately, training your body to feel peace instead of fear is about creating a new relationship with your own physical sensations. It's about learning to be present, to breathe, to move, to feel. It's about choosing to ground yourself in the present moment instead of allowing your body to spiral into fear. And it's about practicing this every single day, so that when fear does arise, you have the tools to respond with peace instead. You have the strength to take control of your body, your breath, your emotions, and your life. And that's where true power lies. Chapter 8. Choose a powerful new thought to replace worry. You have the power to shift your entire reality simply by changing the thoughts you choose to entertain. Worry doesn't have to dominate your mind. It is a choice, one that you can break free from by intentionally replacing those negative, fearful thoughts with ones that empower and strengthen you. Every moment you spend dwelling on worry is a moment wasted. A moment where you could be focusing your energy on the things that truly matter. But the good news is that you can change this. You can choose a new thought, a new belief, and let go of the constant, overwhelming weight of worry. Worry is a habit, and like any habit, it can be changed. But it requires conscious effort, practice, and dedication. The first step in overcoming worry is realizing that you don't have to give it power over you. Most of the things you worry about never come to pass. They are projections of your mind, fueled by fear, uncertainty, and anxiety. They are not real. And yet, so often, we give them space to grow, to fester, and to consume us. You cannot change the things you worry about, but you can change how you react to them. The key is to recognize when worry is starting to creep in. The moment you feel that tightening in your chest or that swirl of anxious thoughts in your mind, you have a choice. You can let it take over, or you can choose to replace it with a powerful positive thought. A new thought that aligns with your goals, your purpose, and your values. A thought that brings peace instead of anxiety. Let's look at how this works. When you start to worry, the thoughts typically revolve around something uncertain in your life. Whether it's a potential failure, a looming challenge, or an outcome you can't control, worry thrives in uncertainty. But if you begin to replace those worrisome thoughts with a more powerful, constructive one, you start to change the dynamic. Instead of thinking, "What if this goes wrong?" you can think, "I am capable of handling whatever comes my way." Instead of thinking, "What if I fail?" think, "I learn and grow from every experience." You see, worry often focuses on the worst-case scenario, while a powerful new thought focuses on the possibilities for growth, learning, and success. It's not about ignoring the reality of challenges or pretending that difficulties don't exist. It's about choosing to face them with strength, resilience, and the certainty that you will handle them no matter what. It's about cultivating a mindset of confidence, even in the face of uncertainty. One way to replace worry is by adopting the mindset of a problem solver. When you worry, your brain often becomes paralyzed by the problem. It becomes consumed by the fear of not knowing the outcome. But when you shift your mindset to problem solving, you focus on the solutions instead of the problems. Instead of saying, "What if I fail?" ask yourself, "What can I do right now to move forward?" Start asking questions that empower you and give you control over the situation. When you focus on solutions rather than on problems, worry loses its grip on you. Another powerful tool is gratitude. Worry has a way of distorting your perception of reality, making you focus only on the negative. But gratitude forces you to shift your focus to what is going well in your life. It reminds you of the abundance you already have and the countless things that are going right. Every time you start to feel the grip of worry, take a moment to list 5 things you are grateful for. This simple act of gratitude helps you reframe your thoughts and puts your worries in perspective. Instead of focusing on what might go wrong, you shift your focus to what is already going right. Furthermore, when you replace worry with a powerful thought, you begin to train your brain to default to this new pattern. Just like any habit, the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Over time, your brain will stop automatically reaching for the worry and will instead start reaching for the positive, empowering thought. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent practice, you'll begin to notice a significant change in your thought patterns. One of the most empowering new thoughts you can adopt is the thought of trust. Trust in yourself. Trust that you have what it takes to face whatever comes your way. Trust that life is unfolding as it should, and that you are capable of navigating it with grace and resilience. Worry thrives in a lack of trust. It thrives when you doubt yourself, when you question your ability to handle challenges. But trust is the antidote to that fear. When you trust yourself, when you trust that you are doing the best you can, and when you trust that things will work out in the end, worry no longer has a foothold. Another new thought you can choose is the belief that everything is temporary. Worry often feels overwhelming because we get trapped in the idea that the situation we're facing will last forever. We see a problem and imagine it stretching out indefinitely. But the truth is that everything is temporary. No situation, no matter how difficult, lasts forever. By reminding yourself of this truth, you can release the grip of worry. You don't need to worry about the long term. You only need to focus on what you can do today, right now, to move yourself forward. Your mind has an incredible capacity for change. Every thought you think creates new neural connections in your brain, and with each thought, you can change your mental landscape. But it takes time and consistency. By choosing powerful new thoughts over worry, you begin to reshape your mental patterns and beliefs. You begin to reinforce a mindset that is resilient, positive, and focused on growth. One way to reinforce this practice is through daily affirmations. These are powerful statements that you repeat to yourself, either aloud or in your mind, that align with the new thought you are trying to adopt. For example, you can repeat, "I am in control of my thoughts and emotions. I trust myself to handle anything that comes my way. I release worry and embrace peace." The more you say these affirmations, the more they become ingrained in your subconscious mind. Over time, these thoughts replace the old habitual ones, and worry becomes less and less of a factor in your life. Another way to replace worry with a powerful thought is through visualization. When you find yourself starting to worry about an outcome, take a moment to close your eyes and visualize a positive, successful result. Imagine yourself succeeding, overcoming challenges, and handling everything with confidence. Visualization is a powerful tool because it primes your brain to believe that success is not only possible, but inevitable. The more you visualize your success, the more likely you are to take the actions necessary to make it a reality. Remember, you are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You are the creator of your thoughts. Every moment you spend in worry is a moment you can take back and use to create a powerful, positive thought instead. It may not always be easy, and it may take time to retrain your mind, but you have the power to replace worry with confidence, trust, and peace. The more you practice, the more automatic it becomes, until one day you realize that worry no longer has a hold on you. And when that day comes, you will truly understand the immense power of choosing a new thought. Chapter 9. Activate healing by sitting still with your feelings. Healing begins when you stop running away from your feelings and allow yourself to truly sit with them. The energy we put into avoiding pain, discomfort, and negative emotions only prolongs the suffering we try so desperately to escape. True healing doesn't come from distractions, from pretending everything is okay, or from pushing feelings down into the depths of your mind. It comes from allowing yourself to feel, to be present with your emotions, and to accept them as part of your human experience. When you sit still with your feelings, you activate a process of healing that allows you to move through pain, grow stronger, and ultimately find peace. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to move faster, do more, and avoid discomfort at all costs. From the moment we wake up, we are bombarded with distractions, expectations, and pressures that pull our attention away from what's happening inside us. But in the quest for external success, we often neglect the internal work that is necessary for true healing and growth. We avoid the uncomfortable feelings that arise when we face pain, loss, or disappointment. We bury them under layers of busyness, productivity, and noise, convincing ourselves that we're too busy to feel, too busy to process. But in reality, the more we avoid our feelings, the more they control us. The first step in activating healing is recognizing that your feelings are not the enemy. Feelings like sadness, anger, fear, and anxiety are part of the human experience. They are signals from within that indicate something needs attention. Instead of seeing these emotions as something to be avoided, we need to start viewing them as messengers that offer insight, wisdom, and an opportunity for growth. When we sit still with our feelings, we open ourselves up to understanding why we feel the way we do and what we can learn from these emotions. In our fast-paced world, we've been conditioned to believe that feeling good is the ultimate goal. We chase happiness, peace, and joy, believing that these are the only valid emotions to experience. But this narrow focus on positive emotions leaves us ill-prepared to deal with the inevitable challenges and painful moments that life presents. Pain and discomfort are not only unavoidable, they are necessary for growth. Every painful emotion carries the seed of transformation, but only if we are willing to sit still with it and listen. Sitting still with your feelings doesn't mean wallowing in them or letting them consume you. It doesn't mean being paralyzed by negative emotions or allowing them to dictate your behavior. Rather, sitting still means creating space for the emotions to be fully experienced without judgment or resistance. It means allowing yourself to feel without trying to control or suppress the experience. When we sit still with our feelings, we stop trying to run away from them, and instead, we allow them to pass through us, knowing that they are temporary and that we are capable of moving through them with grace and strength. This process of sitting still with your feelings requires courage. It means confronting the emotions that make you uncomfortable and allowing them to exist without trying to change them. It means being honest with yourself about what you're feeling and accepting those feelings as valid and real. For many of us, this can be terrifying because we fear that allowing ourselves to feel will make us weak, overwhelmed, or out of control. But in truth, the opposite is true. By sitting still with our feelings, we reclaim control over them. We choose to face them head-on, without fear or resistance, and in doing so we take away their power to control us. One of the most important things to remember when sitting still with your feelings is that this is not a passive process. It requires active engagement. Sitting still doesn't mean numbing out or shutting down. It means fully engaging with the emotion in the present moment. It's about allowing yourself to be present with what's happening in your body, in your mind, and in your heart. This is a moment of deep self-awareness where you become attuned to the sensations, thoughts, and feelings that arise. You don't need to know why you feel a certain way or try to analyze the emotion. You simply need to allow yourself to experience it without resistance. As you sit with your feelings, you may notice that they start to shift and change. This is because emotions are dynamic. They are not static or permanent. They arise, they peak, and then they begin to fade. Often the more we resist an emotion, the more it persists. But when we allow ourselves to feel it fully, to be present with it without judgment, it can move through us more easily. You might notice that after sitting with a painful emotion for a while, it starts to soften. It may lose its intensity, and you may feel a sense of release or relief. This is the healing process at work. Another key aspect of sitting still with your feelings is learning to create a safe space for them. This involves cultivating an environment of self-compassion and understanding. We are often our own harshest critics, especially when it comes to emotions that we perceive as negative or undesirable. But if we are to heal, we must learn to be kind to ourselves in our moments of vulnerability. This means not judging ourselves for feeling sad, angry, or anxious. It means accepting that it's okay to feel these things and that they don't make us weak, broken, or unworthy. It's through this compassionate acceptance that healing can truly begin. A powerful tool to help you sit still with your feelings is mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness teaches us to be present with what is happening in the moment, without judgment or attachment. When you practice mindfulness, you bring your attention to the sensations in your body, the thoughts in your mind, and the emotions in your heart. You observe them with curiosity and compassion, without trying to change them or make them go away. This practice of non-judgmental awareness helps you to sit with your feelings in a way that is gentle and healing, allowing them to move through you without resistance. Sometimes sitting still with your feelings may feel overwhelming. You may experience a surge of emotion that feels too intense to handle. If this happens, it's important to remember that you don't have to sit with the feeling for hours on end. You can take breaks, ground yourself, and come back to the experience when you're ready. The goal is not to force yourself into prolonged suffering, but rather to create space for the emotion to be experienced and to allow it to release in its own time. Healing happens in waves, and it's important to honor your own pace. When you allow yourself to sit still with your feelings, you open the door to deeper self-awareness and healing. You begin to recognize the patterns in your emotional life, the triggers that cause certain feelings to arise, and the ways in which your emotions influence your thoughts and behavior. This awareness is the first step in breaking free from old emotional patterns and creating a new way of relating to yourself and the world around you. As you continue to practice sitting with your feelings, you will find that you become more resilient, more compassionate, and more attuned to your inner wisdom. Remember, healing is not a destination, it's a process. It's a journey of self-discovery, growth, and transformation. And it begins with the simple act of sitting still with your feelings. By allowing yourself to feel without judgment, to accept the full spectrum of your emotions, and to be present with your inner experience, you activate the healing process that leads to a deeper sense of peace, strength, and wholeness. When you stop running from your feelings and start embracing them, you open the door to a life of true emotional freedom. Chapter 10. Elevate your mental state with morning gratitude practice. The morning is the perfect time to set the tone for your entire day. When you wake up, you have a unique opportunity to shape your mindset, energize your spirit, and align yourself with the forces of positivity and possibility. The first thoughts you choose to entertain in the early hours of the day will either lift you to a higher mental state or drag you into the depths of negativity and defeat. The practice of gratitude, when done first thing in the morning, can unlock a powerful transformation in how you perceive yourself and the world around you. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's an intentional decision that you can make each day to elevate your mental state and lead a life of abundance. Gratitude is the most powerful tool you can use to shift your focus away from what is lacking in your life and instead appreciate the richness that already exists. It has the potential to rewire your brain, training it to seek out the positive, the good, and the possibilities, rather than getting stuck in the cycle of complaints, doubts, and worries. When you practice gratitude in the morning, you are giving yourself permission to see the beauty in even the smallest moments. This habit changes your energy, it changes your outlook, and it changes the entire trajectory of your day. Waking up with gratitude is not about pretending that everything is perfect, nor is it about ignoring the challenges that life may present. It's about deciding to start your day by acknowledging the things you do have, the blessings that you may have overlooked in the busyness of life. It's a conscious effort to focus on what is going right, rather than on what's going wrong. It is about recognizing that, no matter how difficult the circumstances might seem, there is always something to be thankful for. One of the most profound benefits of a morning gratitude practice is its ability to shift your perspective. When you begin your day by identifying the things you are grateful for, your mind automatically looks for more of the same throughout the day. Gratitude puts you in the mindset of abundance. It allows you to see opportunities where others may see obstacles. You begin to recognize how much you have, and in turn, this shifts your energy and opens up more space for new blessings to flow into your life. Gratitude isn't just about saying thank you for the big things. It's about taking a moment to appreciate the little things that often go unnoticed. The warmth of the sun on your face, the taste of your morning coffee, the love of your family and friends, these are all sources of richness in your life. The practice of gratitude helps you cultivate an awareness of these things, allowing you to see them for what they truly are. The more you practice gratitude, the more you will see just how much there is to be thankful for. But gratitude isn't always easy. There are days when it feels as though everything is going wrong, when life feels heavy, and when it seems impossible to find something to be grateful for. These are the days when gratitude is most powerful. When you can still find the strength to practice gratitude in the face of adversity, you are building resilience and cultivating a mindset of abundance. It is easy to be grateful when things are going well. But when you choose gratitude during difficult times, you are training your mind to see beyond the struggle and focus on the lessons, the growth and the opportunity for change that each challenge brings. A morning gratitude practice doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, simplicity is key. Start by taking just a few minutes each morning to reflect on what you are grateful for. As you lie in bed or sit up, close your eyes and take a deep breath. Begin to focus on the things in your life that bring you joy, peace, and fulfillment. These can be as simple as the sound of birds chirping outside, the ability to breathe, or the fact that you woke up to a new day. Gratitude is not about looking for grand gestures, it's about recognizing the beauty in the everyday. As you become more consistent in your practice, you may find it helpful to write down the things you are grateful for. Keeping a gratitude journal is a simple yet powerful way to deepen your practice and create a tangible reminder of the many blessings in your life. By writing down your thoughts, you are reinforcing the positive energy and creating a habit of appreciation. It's amazing how quickly your perspective can shift when you start writing down your gratitude each day. You'll begin to notice more and more things to be thankful for, and before long, your mindset will shift from one of scarcity to one of abundance. But gratitude isn't just about feeling thankful, it's about embodying it. To truly elevate your mental state, you must integrate gratitude into the way you live and the way you carry yourself. When you practice gratitude in the morning, you are setting the intention to approach the day with positivity and openness. But it's important to carry this mindset with you throughout the day. Whether you're facing challenges at work, navigating difficult relationships, or dealing with personal struggles, remembering to be thankful can help you find peace amidst the chaos. Gratitude isn't just something you do, it's a way of being. A powerful way to deepen your practice of gratitude is by shifting your focus to the future. While many people use gratitude to reflect on the past, a powerful way to apply it is by being grateful for the future that lies ahead. When you wake up in the morning, take a moment to be grateful for the opportunities, growth, and experiences that the day holds. Be thankful for the work you're about to do, the lessons you will learn, and the people you will meet. By looking forward with gratitude, you invite the universe to work in your favor, helping you attract more of what you want into your life. The effects of a morning gratitude practice are not only emotional but physical as well. Studies have shown that people who practice gratitude regularly have lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. Gratitude has a powerful impact on your physical health because it shifts your brain chemistry. When you focus on the positive, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the chemicals responsible for feelings of happiness and well-being. The more you practice gratitude, the more you train your brain to seek out and celebrate the good, leading to a stronger, more positive mindset that fuels your energy and vitality. A gratitude practice in the morning also enhances your ability to connect with others. When you begin the day with appreciation, you naturally carry that energy into your interactions with others. Gratitude helps you see the best in people, which strengthens relationships and fosters a sense of connection. The more you practice gratitude, the more you will attract positivity into your life, and the more you will inspire those around you to do the same. Incorporating a morning gratitude practice into your daily routine doesn't require a drastic overhaul of your life. It's simply about taking a moment each morning to reset your mental state and choose positivity over negativity. It's about shifting your perspective from what you don't have to what you do. It's about allowing yourself to step into the power of abundance, gratitude, and possibility from the moment you wake up. A simple yet profound practice of morning gratitude can change your life. It has the power to elevate your mental state, increase your happiness, and transform the way you experience the world. By starting each day with gratitude, you set yourself up for success, growth, and joy. As you build this practice into your life, you will begin to notice that you are more resilient, more optimistic, and more aligned with the energy of abundance. So start your day with gratitude and watch how it elevates not only your mindset but every aspect of your life. Chapter 11. Disengage from fear by shifting focus to presence. Fear has no power over you unless you let it. The moment you become aware of it, you take away its control, and you can choose a different path. Fear may be an illusion, but it feels real, doesn't it? It traps us in a cycle of worry, stress, and hesitation, and before we know it, we're paralyzed by the weight of all the what-ifs that flood our minds. But the truth is, fear doesn't exist in the present moment. It's something that arises in your thoughts about the future or the past, and when you shift your focus to the now, you instantly break the grip it has on you. Disengaging from fear starts with understanding this simple but profound truth. Fear only exists in the mind. It is a mental projection. It doesn't live in the present, which is where real life happens. If you're looking for freedom from fear, the answer is right here in the now. The present moment is the antidote to fear, and the more you train yourself to live fully in the present, the less power fear will have over you. By learning to shift your focus away from the fearful thoughts and bring your attention to the here and now, you reclaim your power and your peace of mind. Every time you feel fear rising within you, ask yourself this simple question: what is happening right now? In most cases, nothing is actually threatening your well-being in the present moment. The fear you feel is simply a result of your mind jumping ahead to something that hasn't happened yet or ruminating on something that's already passed. When you recognize that, you can immediately redirect your focus back to the present, where everything is okay. The present moment is always safe, always neutral, and always ready to receive your attention. One of the most effective ways to disengage from fear is through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about fully engaging with whatever is happening right now, whether it's the sensation of your breath, the sounds around you, or the feeling of your body in space. By anchoring your attention in the present moment, you create a sense of calm that directly counteracts the anxiety and fear that may be running in your mind. In the moments when fear seems overwhelming, try bringing your focus to your breath. Feel the air enter and leave your body. Notice the rhythm of your inhales and exhales. This simple practice helps you disengage from the fearful thoughts that are spinning in your mind. It's impossible to be both deeply focused on the breath and consumed by fear at the same time. Breathing in deeply and intentionally slows down your nervous system and sends a signal to your body that everything is okay. When your body feels calm, your mind follows suit. You can also practice grounding yourself in the present moment by engaging your senses. Notice the sights, sounds, smells, and textures around you. What do you hear? What do you see? What does the air feel like against your skin? Grounding yourself in sensory details brings you into the here and now, pushing aside the fearful thoughts that try to take control of your mind. When you're focused on the sensations of the present moment, fear loses its grip on you. Another way to shift focus away from fear is to remind yourself that you are not your thoughts. Fear arises in your mind, but it's important to recognize that you don't have to identify with those thoughts. Just because a thought arises doesn't mean it's true. Thoughts are not facts. You are the observer of your thoughts, not the thoughts themselves. When fear comes up, simply acknowledge it without attaching to it. You don't have to entertain it. You can let it come and go, like clouds drifting across the sky. The more you practice this non-attachment to your thoughts, the less power fear will have over you. Another effective way to disengage from fear is to visualize a peaceful scene. Picture yourself somewhere calm and serene, a beach, a forest, or a quiet room. Imagine the sights, sounds, and sensations of that peaceful place. Visualizing a calming environment helps to reset your emotional state and allows you to shift out of fear and into peace. This technique taps into the mind-body connection, sending calming signals to your nervous system and reducing the physical symptoms of fear, such as tension, rapid heartbeat, or shallow breathing. One of the biggest reasons fear takes hold of us is that we try to control everything around us. We want certainty, and when life feels uncertain, we panic. But here's the truth: control is an illusion. The only thing you can control is your response to the present moment. When you stop trying to control everything and accept that the present is all you truly have, you can let go of the fear that comes from uncertainty. You begin to trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Instead of fearing what might go wrong, you start trusting in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. This shift in perspective is powerful because it allows you to release the need for control and embrace the flow of life with confidence and peace. When you find yourself in a fearful state, it's helpful to ask yourself a simple but powerful question: what's the worst that can happen? Often when we examine our fears logically, we realize that the worst-case scenario is not nearly as bad as we imagined. Even if things don't go perfectly, you will be okay. You have the strength to handle any challenges that come your way. By facing your fear head-on and asking yourself this question, you break the power it holds over you. Fear thrives on the unknown, but when you look it straight in the face, you take away its hold. You also have the ability to replace fear with trust. Fear comes from not knowing what the future holds, but trust comes from knowing that no matter what happens, you have the strength and resilience to overcome it. Trust in yourself. Trust that you are capable of navigating whatever comes your way. Trust that you are supported by the universe and that every experience, whether good or bad, is an opportunity for growth. When you trust yourself and the process of life, fear no longer has the power to paralyze you. Instead, you embrace life with a sense of openness and possibility. In moments of fear, it's important to remember that you are not alone. Fear can make you feel isolated, like you're the only one struggling. But the truth is, everyone experiences fear at some point. It's a universal human experience. By connecting with others, whether through a conversation, a support group, or even simply knowing that you are not alone in your struggles, you can release the shame and guilt that fear often brings. You can share your fears openly and find support from those who understand what you're going through. When you realize that fear is something that all humans face, you can approach it with compassion rather than resistance. When fear grips you, the best thing you can do is to surrender to the present moment. Instead of fighting fear, embrace it as part of the human experience. Acknowledge it, but don't let it define you. Shift your focus to the here and now and realize that in this moment, you are safe. Fear may be a temporary feeling, but the present moment is always real and always grounded in reality. The more you practice this, the less power fear will have over you, and the more you will move through life with calm presence and confidence. The power to disengage from fear lies in your ability to focus on the present. The moment you shift your attention from the fear in your mind to the reality of the present moment, you reclaim your peace. Fear can no longer control you because you are rooted in what is real. You have the ability to transform fear into freedom, anxiety into calm, and uncertainty into trust. All it takes is the simple decision to focus on the present moment, and in doing so you release the hold that fear has on your life. So the next time fear arises, remember this: you have the power to shift your focus to the present, where peace resides.
Chapter 12. Empower your nervous system through silent observation daily. Your nervous system is the silent powerhouse that governs your thoughts, emotions, and responses. Yet, too often, we forget that it's not just our mind that needs control, but our entire system. We spend our days rushing from task to task, reacting to the world around us, rarely taking a moment to truly observe how we feel or what our bodies are experiencing. But the real power lies in observation. By empowering your nervous system through silent observation every day, you unlock a level of self-awareness and control that transforms how you engage with your world. When you learn to observe without judgment, without trying to fix, change, or even understand, you create space for your body and mind to reset. Silent observation doesn't require action, nor does it ask you to think about what you are observing. It's about being present, fully engaged, and aware of what's happening inside and around you without the need to intervene or analyze. This practice is one of the simplest yet most profound ways to bring calm to your nervous system. By becoming an observer, you break free from the cycle of constant doing and allow your system to move back into balance. Start by dedicating a small moment each day to silent observation. It doesn't have to be a long practice. Just a few minutes can make a significant impact. Sit in a quiet space and focus your attention inward. Notice the sensation of your breath, the beating of your heart, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Pay attention to your thoughts without attaching to them. Simply observe them as they come and go, like clouds drifting through the sky. This practice doesn't require you to judge or control the thoughts. Just acknowledge them and then let them pass. This act of non-interference allows your nervous system to settle, creating a sense of calm and restoring balance to your internal world. As you engage in silent observation, you begin to shift your focus away from the external chaos that often governs your life. The world can be loud, overwhelming, and chaotic, but when you retreat into silence, you tap into the stillness that exists within you. In this silence, you begin to notice the subtle signals your body is sending you. Maybe you feel tension in your shoulders or tightness in your jaw. Perhaps your breath is shallow or your heart rate is faster than usual. These are signs that your nervous system is out of balance. Through observation, you begin to recognize these physical manifestations of stress, and by becoming aware, you open the door to change. The beauty of silent observation is that it doesn't require anything other than your presence. You don't need to try to relax, to fix anything, or to force any particular outcome. All you have to do is be present. Your nervous system will naturally respond to the stillness and the lack of pressure. It's in this quiet observation that healing begins. You allow your body and mind to simply exist without judgment or expectation, and in doing so you create the conditions for your nervous system to recalibrate and find balance again. When you practice this daily, you'll start to notice changes. The more you observe in silence, the more in tune you become with your body and its responses.
You'll notice how different situations affect your energy and emotions. You'll become more attuned to the subtle shifts in your nervous system, whether it's the tightening of your stomach in moments of stress or the rapid heartbeat in moments of fear. Once you recognize these signs, you can start to shift your focus to calm them. By observing them without judgment or reaction, you weaken their hold over you. The nervous system becomes more resilient, better able to handle stress and challenges as they arise. Silent observation also empowers you to recognize patterns. We all have unconscious habits, both mental and physical, that we don't even realize are affecting us. Silent observation reveals these patterns, whether they're mental loops of anxiety or physical responses to stress. When you notice these patterns, you can consciously choose to break them. The key is awareness. When you observe your thoughts and sensations without getting lost in them, you begin to see clearly the ways in which your nervous system reacts to different situations. With this awareness, you can begin to cultivate a sense of control and calm, even in the midst of chaos. But observation goes beyond just noticing physical sensations or emotional reactions. It's also about observing your environment and how it impacts your nervous system. The world around you has a profound effect on your state of being. The noise, the people, the constant flow of information, it all takes a toll on your nervous system. By becoming more attuned to your environment, you can begin to make conscious decisions about where you invest your energy. You'll become more aware of what drains you and what uplifts you. With this awareness, you can take steps to create a more peaceful environment that supports the health of your nervous system. The power of silent observation is that it helps you break free from the automatic reactions that often control your life. How many times have you reacted to a situation out of habit without ever stopping to consider your response? Silent observation creates a pause between stimulus and reaction, allowing you to choose your response consciously. This pause is where your power lies. By observing your emotions, thoughts, and physical sensations before reacting, you take back control. You no longer have to be a slave to your impulses or your emotions. Instead, you become the master of your experience, empowered to respond in a way that aligns with your values and goals. The more you practice silent observation, the more you cultivate a sense of inner peace. It's like building a muscle. The more you strengthen it, the easier it becomes to find peace amidst the noise. Your nervous system becomes more resilient, more capable of staying calm and centered no matter what's happening around you. This practice helps you develop a sense of trust in your ability to handle whatever life throws at you. You start to believe that you are capable of facing challenges with grace and calm because you've trained your nervous system to stay grounded in the present moment. Empowering your nervous system through silent observation isn't just about managing stress or calming your emotions. It's about creating a deeper connection with yourself. It's about learning to listen to your body and your mind, recognizing the signals they're sending, and responding with kindness and care. It's about cultivating a sense of presence and stillness that allows you to move through life with clarity and intention. When you practice silent observation daily, you create space for peace and healing to enter your life. You empower your nervous system to become more balanced, more resilient, and more capable of handling the challenges of life. And in doing so, you empower yourself. Chapter 13. Heal emotional memories that trigger anxious thinking patterns. You are not defined by the memories of pain and fear that try to cling to your thoughts. You have the power to heal, to release the grip that these memories have on your mind, and to replace the anxious thinking patterns that hold you hostage. Emotional memories are powerful, but they do not have to control your life. The key to unlocking freedom lies in recognizing, understanding, and healing these triggers so that they no longer have the power to influence your future. We all carry emotional memories, moments of disappointment, trauma, failure, or rejection that have shaped the way we see the world. These memories create emotional scars that can manifest as anxiety, fear, or overwhelming stress. When a memory is triggered, it often causes us to react in a way that feels automatic and uncontrollable. Our hearts race, our thoughts spiral, and our bodies become tense. But here's the truth. You can heal these memories. You can change your response. And it starts with awareness and the willingness to face the discomfort head-on. The first step in healing emotional memories is acknowledging that they exist. Often, we try to bury painful memories, hoping that time will take care of them. We tell ourselves that they are in the past, that they no longer matter. But the truth is, unresolved emotional memories don't simply fade away on their own. They remain within us, tucked away in the subconscious, influencing our behavior and thought patterns in ways we may not even realize. By bringing these memories to the surface, we begin to take control of them. We stop allowing them to dictate how we feel and react, and we start the healing process. Next, it's crucial to observe these emotional memories without judgment. When we recall a painful memory, we often judge it harshly, or we feel guilty for having experienced it. We might even judge ourselves for still being affected by it. But the process of healing begins with acceptance. Instead of labeling the memory as bad or wrong, simply observe it as it is. It's a part of your story, but it doesn't define you. By viewing it from a place of neutrality, you can begin to release the emotional charge it holds over you. You stop reacting with fear or anxiety, and instead you approach the memory with curiosity, understanding, and compassion. One of the most powerful ways to heal these emotional memories is through mindfulness. When a memory is triggered, instead of allowing it to take over your thoughts and emotions, practice becoming present in the moment. Ground yourself in your current surroundings. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Notice the rhythm of your breath. Listen to the sounds around you. This simple act of grounding helps break the automatic thought patterns that anxiety often creates. It brings you back to the present, where you are safe, and helps you detach from the memory's emotional grip. Another effective technique is to reframe the memory. Reframing involves looking at the memory from a different perspective. Rather than viewing it as a source of pain, ask yourself, what lessons did I learn from this experience? How did this shape me into the person I am today? Even in our most difficult moments, there are lessons to be found. By reframing the memory in a positive light, you begin to release its hold on you. You turn a moment of pain into an opportunity for growth, and this shift in perspective helps to heal the emotional wound that was created. Journaling is another powerful tool for healing emotional memories. Writing down your thoughts and feelings can help you process the emotions tied to a particular memory. It allows you to give voice to what you've been holding inside. Don't censor yourself. Let your words flow freely and allow yourself to express whatever comes up. The act of writing can bring clarity and insight, helping you to release the power that these memories have over your thoughts. It's a way of putting the memory outside of yourself, allowing you to view it with more objectivity and detachment. Additionally, practicing self-compassion is essential in this healing process. It's easy to be hard on ourselves, especially when we revisit painful memories. We may blame ourselves for things that happened or think we should have handled the situation differently. But healing requires that we show ourselves the same kindness and understanding that we would show a loved one. Speak to yourself with care, as if you were comforting a friend. Acknowledge that you did the best you could with the knowledge and resources you had at the time. Let go of guilt or shame and replace it with empathy for yourself. This practice of self-compassion helps to dissolve the negative emotions tied to the memory. Another key aspect of healing emotional memories is forgiveness, both forgiving others and forgiving yourself. Often the memories that trigger anxiety are tied to past hurts, betrayals or injustices. Holding on to anger, resentment, or guilt keeps these emotional wounds open. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing the hurtful behavior or pretending it never happened. It means letting go of the emotional weight that is keeping you stuck. It's a decision to free yourself from the past so you can move forward with peace. Forgiveness is an act of self-love, and it is essential for healing. In addition to these emotional healing techniques, physical practices such as deep breathing, yoga, and meditation can also help release the tension that these memories store in the body. Emotional memories don't just exist in the mind, they live in our bodies as well. Stress and anxiety can manifest as tightness in the chest, a clenched jaw, or shallow breathing. By engaging in mindful movement or deep relaxation techniques, you can release physical tension and create space for emotional healing. These practices activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes relaxation and helps to counterbalance the fight or flight response triggered by anxious thoughts. Another crucial step in healing emotional memories is to create new associations. When a memory triggers anxiety, the brain is associating that memory with fear or stress. By deliberately pairing the memory with something positive, you can begin to change the emotional response. For example, when you think of a painful memory, consciously shift your focus to something that makes you feel good. This could be a peaceful place, a person you love, or a positive affirmation. By creating new neural pathways, you start to rewire your brain's response to the memory. Over time, the emotional charge attached to the memory diminishes. Healing emotional memories is a process, and it takes time. Be patient with yourself. It's normal to experience setbacks, and it's okay if healing doesn't happen all at once. What matters is that you're taking the steps to free yourself from the grip of anxious thinking patterns and emotional triggers. Each day, as you practice these techniques, you'll find that the memories lose their power over you. You'll begin to respond to life's challenges with greater calm and clarity, knowing that you have the strength to heal and move forward. You are not your past. You are not the sum of your emotional memories. You have the power to rewrite your story, to heal, and to transform your response to life's challenges. As you heal these emotional memories, you are not just releasing the past, you are creating space for a future filled with peace, resilience, and freedom. Take the time to heal, and you will find that the anxious thinking patterns that once controlled you no longer have a hold. You are free to live fully, powerfully, and with unwavering peace. Chapter 14. Reset your identity by visualizing a peaceful mind. The mind is a powerful tool, but it can also be your greatest obstacle if you allow it to be filled with noise, chaos, and confusion. It's time to reset your identity. It's time to reprogram your mind to embrace peace, clarity, and a sense of purpose. Visualizing a peaceful mind isn't just an exercise, it's a transformation, a shift in how you see yourself and your potential. The power of your identity lies in how you see yourself and how you believe your mind operates. If you're constantly telling yourself that you're overwhelmed, anxious, or unable to control your thoughts, then you are reinforcing that identity. But what if you chose to reset that? What if, instead of reinforcing negativity and chaos, you visualized a mind filled with calm, focus, and clarity? What if you saw yourself as someone who could handle whatever comes their way with peace and understanding? This shift in perception is the first step in resetting your identity. We are often a reflection of our thoughts. Every belief we hold, every identity we claim, starts with a thought. And what we think shapes who we are. If you want to change the way you experience the world, you must first change the way you think. And the way to do that is through powerful visualization. Visualization isn't just about seeing the future you desire, it's about shaping the present reality you experience in your mind. The mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined. The more you practice visualizing a peaceful mind, the more your mind starts to believe it is possible for you. The more your mind accepts peace as a part of your identity, the more it becomes your reality. You can create a mental environment that supports your well-being, and through consistent practice, you will see it reflected in your actions, your decisions, and your daily life. To begin this process, you must first learn to quiet the noise. This starts by creating a space where you can focus, free from distractions, free from the bombardment of outside influences. Find a quiet corner, sit comfortably, close your eyes, and begin to breathe deeply. With every breath, allow yourself to settle deeper into your body. Let go of the tension in your shoulders, your jaw, and your mind. Allow each exhale to carry away any stress, doubt, or worry that has accumulated. Now, with each breath, begin to visualize the peaceful mind you desire. Imagine it as a place of tranquility, a serene landscape perhaps, or a quiet room where you feel completely at ease. See yourself sitting in this space, feeling calm, grounded, and at peace. The thoughts that used to swirl in your mind, thoughts of stress, worry, and fear, are no longer there. They have faded into the background, replaced by a gentle stillness. This is the mind you are visualizing, the mind that you can create. It's important to remember that your mind is not an uncontrollable force. It is a tool, and like any tool, it requires practice and intentional use. Just as you would train your body in the gym, you can train your mind to be peaceful, focused, and calm. Visualizing this peaceful mind is your first step in that training. The more you practice, the more you strengthen your ability to return to that peaceful state, even in the face of life's challenges. As you visualize this peaceful mind, focus on the sensations that come with it. What does peace feel like in your body? Does it feel like a warm, comforting energy in your chest? Does it feel like a cool breeze across your skin? Get as detailed as possible. The more you can connect with these sensations, the more real and tangible the experience becomes. Once you have this vision of a peaceful mind, begin to associate it with your identity. See yourself as someone who has mastered this calmness. Visualize yourself moving through life with ease, handling challenges, facing obstacles, and making decisions with clarity and confidence. This version of you is no longer ruled by anxiety, stress, or overthinking. You are in control of your thoughts, and you are choosing peace. This is who you are becoming. It's important to note that resetting your identity is not about forcing yourself into a new way of being. It's about allowing yourself to align with your true potential. The peaceful mind you are visualizing is not foreign to you. It is a part of who you are, and by practicing visualization, you are simply unlocking that potential. This peaceful state of mind is your birthright. You just need to reconnect with it and nurture it. To solidify this shift in identity, it's crucial to integrate this practice into your daily life. Visualization alone isn't enough. It needs to be backed up by action. As you go about your day, remind yourself of the peaceful mind you visualized. When stress arises, when the noise of the world begins to overwhelm you, take a moment to breathe and return to that place of peace in your mind. You've already created it.
Now you just need to revisit it. The key to making this shift permanent is consistency. The more consistently you practice this visualization, the more your mind will naturally default to peace. Over time, the visualized peaceful state will become a part of your identity. It will no longer be something you need to actively work on. It will simply be who you are. In this process, be gentle with yourself. Changing your mental state, resetting your identity, and reprogramming your mind takes time. There will be moments when it feels difficult, or when you find yourself slipping back into old habits. That's okay. Remember that every time you return to your practice, you are strengthening your peaceful mind. Every moment you choose peace over anxiety is a victory. Resetting your identity by visualizing a peaceful mind is not a one-time effort, it's a lifelong practice. It's about continuously choosing peace, clarity, and calm, even when the world around you feels chaotic. It's about realizing that you don't have to react to every situation with stress or anxiety. You have the power to choose how you respond. And when you choose peace, you are resetting your identity, aligning with the calm, clear, and focused version of yourself that you've always been capable of being. This shift in identity is transformative. It doesn't just affect your thoughts, it affects your actions, your relationships, and your entire experience of life. As you step into this new identity, you will find that you are able to handle challenges with grace, make decisions with confidence, and approach life's ups and downs with an unwavering sense of peace. The chaos that once held you back will no longer have a hold on you. Instead, you will move through life with a quiet strength, rooted in the peaceful mind that you've chosen to cultivate. In the end, resetting your identity through visualization isn't about changing who you are. It's about rediscovering who you've always been, the calm, peaceful, focused individual that exists within you. All it takes is the willingness to reconnect with that part of yourself and the commitment to make it a reality. You have the power to reset your identity, to visualize a peaceful mind, and to step into the life of clarity and purpose that awaits you. The choice is yours. Chapter 15. Detach from outcomes and focus on inner change. You cannot control every outcome, but you can control the direction of your inner transformation. It's time to shift your focus from the external to the internal and understand that true power lies in how you change, not what happens outside of you. The process of detaching from outcomes isn't about surrendering or giving up on your goals. It's about embracing the journey, allowing the process of growth to unfold, and trusting that inner change will inevitably lead to better results. In life, it's easy to become obsessed with outcomes. We are conditioned to measure success by external achievements, by the results we can see and touch. Whether it's landing a job, finishing a project, or reaching a specific financial goal, outcomes are how we often define our worth and success. But this obsession with results can be a trap. It keeps us focused on what we cannot fully control, and in doing so, it robs us of the freedom to be present in the moment and grow from within. The problem with becoming fixated on outcomes is that it creates a state of anxiety and frustration. We become so attached to the results that we lose sight of the most important thing, the internal growth that occurs as we work towards our goals. When we tie our happiness and sense of fulfillment to a specific outcome, we make ourselves vulnerable to disappointment and setbacks. And when things don't go according to plan, we fall into negativity, doubt, and self-blame. This is an unhealthy cycle that can halt our progress and keep us stuck. Instead of getting caught up in the pursuit of a specific outcome, the key to lasting success and fulfillment is to focus on what's happening inside of you. It is through inner change, the evolution of your mindset, your habits, and your character,
that you begin to create the conditions for success in all areas of your life. When you focus on your internal growth, the outcomes will begin to fall into place naturally because you're aligning yourself with a higher version of yourself. To detach from outcomes and focus on inner change, start by acknowledging that the process of growth is more important than the end result. Whether you achieve what you set out to accomplish or not, it's the change you undergo along the way that matters most. This mindset shift is empowering because it takes the pressure off of the outcome and places the emphasis where it belongs on your personal development and transformation. One way to do this is by shifting your perception of failure. In our culture, failure is often seen as something negative, a reflection of our inability to succeed. But when you detach from outcomes, failure becomes an opportunity for growth. Every setback is a lesson, every obstacle a chance to learn, and every challenge a stepping stone toward a better version of yourself. When you stop fearing failure and start embracing it as part of the process, you give yourself permission to grow without the fear of not achieving a specific result. This doesn't mean that you should abandon your goals or stop striving for excellence. What it means is that your happiness, peace and sense of worth should not be tied to achieving a particular outcome. Instead, your sense of fulfillment should come from the fact that you are evolving, becoming more capable, and learning more about yourself every single day. This shift in perspective frees you from the pressure of needing to control every aspect of your life and opens you up to the magic that happens when you trust the process. As you begin to focus on inner change, it's essential to develop a growth-oriented mindset. This means seeing every experience, both good and bad, as an opportunity for personal development. It's about focusing on becoming the person who is capable of handling whatever life throws at you. This approach allows you to build resilience, discipline and wisdom, which are the qualities that will serve you far better than any specific outcome. Moreover, detaching from outcomes doesn't mean you stop setting goals or working toward them with passion. It simply means that your approach to those goals becomes more balanced. You become less attached to when and how things happen, and more focused on the daily effort, the small improvements, and the mindset you bring to your work. When you focus on your inner growth, you begin to approach your goals with patience and persistence, knowing that progress is often slow but always steady. Another important aspect of detaching from outcomes is practicing mindfulness. This means fully immersing yourself in the present moment without judgment or attachment to the future. When you're able to focus on the process rather than the destination, you begin to experience life in its fullness. You stop rushing toward the next goal or accomplishment and start enjoying the journey as it unfolds. By being present, you allow yourself to connect more deeply with the process of growth itself, rather than always being fixated on what comes next. The power of inner change lies in its ability to unlock your full potential. When you focus on developing yourself, your mental clarity, your emotional resilience, and your physical well-being, you create a foundation that can withstand any storm. The outcomes you desire will naturally begin to manifest as a byproduct of your growth. But even if they don't, you'll find that the internal transformation you've undergone is far more valuable than any external result could ever be. To further strengthen your commitment to inner change, it's helpful to set intentions rather than obsessing over specific outcomes. An intention is a commitment to show up as the best version of yourself every day, without being attached to a specific result. For example, instead of saying, "I want to get a promotion at work," you might say, "I intend to improve my skills and contribute to my team's success." This shifts the focus from a specific outcome to the actions and mindset that will get you there. It's also vital to let go of the need for validation from others. When you're detached from outcomes, your sense of self-worth is no longer dependent on external recognition. This is incredibly freeing because it means you can pursue your goals without seeking approval or praise from others. Your validation comes from within. You know that your progress is real, even if nobody else sees it. As you continue to cultivate this mindset of detachment from outcomes, you'll notice a shift in the way you approach challenges. Instead of being discouraged by setbacks, you'll see them as opportunities to strengthen your inner resolve. Every mistake will become a chance to learn, every failure an invitation to grow. You'll stop seeking external approval and start celebrating your own growth, knowing that your worth is not defined by the results you achieve, but by the effort and growth you put into the process. Ultimately, detaching from outcomes and focusing on inner change is about reclaiming control over your life. It's about realizing that you can't control everything, but you can control how you respond. It's about embracing the journey, trusting that your growth will lead to the right outcomes, and knowing that even if things don't turn out as you expect, you will be stronger, wiser, and more capable than you were before. When you make this shift, you free yourself from the constraints of external and step into the limitless potential of your own transformation. Remember, the only thing you can control is your own growth. Focus on that, and everything else will follow. Your inner change is the foundation upon which all your future success is built.
Chapter 16. Teach your body to feel safe through repetition. Your body is not just a vessel for your mind, it's an ally in the pursuit of your goals. The power to unlock your potential is often locked within the way your body responds to stress, discomfort, and even simple routine. If you've ever felt tension, anxiety, or physical resistance when facing challenges, you know how powerful these bodily responses can be. But here's the truth. You can train your body to feel safe, calm, and grounded in the face of stress. It's not just about mastering your mind, it's about teaching your body to respond in a way that supports your goals, rather than hindering them. Think about a time when you were under pressure, whether it was before a big presentation, a challenging conversation, or even just during a stressful day. In those moments, your body can either work with you or against you. When you're not used to handling pressure, your body can become tight, your breathing shallow, your thoughts scattered. You can feel stuck, disconnected from your potential. But this response is not automatic. It's learned, and it can be unlearned. The body's response to stress, discomfort, and challenge is often automatic, and much of it comes from the brain's natural survival mechanisms. When you're in a high-stress situation, your body often defaults to the fight or flight response. This means your muscles tense up, your heart rate speeds up, and your mind races. This survival mechanism, while helpful in actual life-threatening situations, can become a hindrance in your everyday life if it's constantly triggered by situations that are not life-threatening, but instead are simply challenging or uncomfortable. Here's where repetition comes in. Your body learns through repetition. The more you expose it to challenges and teach it to respond in a safe, grounded way, the more your body will naturally shift its response to stress. This is how you can teach your body to feel safe, even in situations that previously triggered anxiety, tension, or fear. Through consistent practice, you can train your body to stay calm, focused, and resilient, no matter what life throws at you. The first step in teaching your body to feel safe is recognizing that it's a skill you can develop. Just as you can train your muscles to become stronger through consistent exercise, you can train your nervous system to respond calmly to stress through repetition. The key is to approach this with patience and persistence. It's not about getting it right the first time. It's about consistently showing up and practicing, just like you would with any other skill.
One of the most effective ways to train your body to feel safe is through controlled breathing exercises. When you're feeling tense or anxious, your breath tends to become shallow and rapid, which exacerbates the stress response. But by deliberately slowing your breath down and focusing on deep diaphragmatic breathing, you signal to your body that it's okay to relax. Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for calming the body down after a stressful event. To start, practice deep breathing regularly. Set aside time each day to focus on your breath. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and inhale deeply through your nose, allowing your lungs to expand fully. Then exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing any tension or stress with each breath. As you practice this, your body will start to learn that it can feel safe and relaxed, even when faced with external stress. Another powerful tool to teach your body to feel safe is mindfulness and body awareness. Often when we're stressed, we disconnect from our bodies. We may not even realize that we're holding tension in our shoulders, clenching our jaws, or tightening our fists. By practicing mindfulness, you can develop a deeper awareness of your body's responses to stress and consciously relax those areas of tension. Mindfulness is about being fully present with what's happening in your body right now, without judgment. It's about noticing where you're holding tension, where you're feeling discomfort, and bringing your attention to those areas. Start by doing a body scan. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and slowly move your awareness through your body, from your toes to the top of your head. As you notice areas of tension, breathe into those spots and consciously release the tightness. Over time, this practice will help you become more attuned to your body's needs and teach you to respond to stress with calmness and presence. Additionally, physical movement is an excellent way to teach your body to feel safe. When you move your body, especially through activities like yoga, tai chi, or even simple stretching, you're sending a message to your nervous system that the body is capable of handling movement and change without threat. Repetition of these movements can retrain your body's stress response, teaching it that physical exertion doesn't have to be paired with tension, fear, or anxiety. Start small and commit to a regular practice of movement. Whether it's a 10-minute stretch in the morning, a short yoga session, or a brisk walk, these movements will help recalibrate your body's response to stress. Over time, your nervous system will begin to associate movement with calmness and ease, rather than with fear or discomfort. Another powerful way to teach your body to feel safe is through the practice of progressive muscle relaxation. This technique involves tensing and then releasing different muscle groups in the body to create awareness of physical tension and learn how to release it. To practice, start by tensing the muscles in your feet, holding the tension for a few seconds, and then releasing. Move up through your body, tensing and relaxing each muscle group. This practice teaches your body that relaxation is not only possible, but is a choice you can make at any time. Repetition is key to this practice. The more often you engage in these techniques, the more your body will learn how to respond to stress in a relaxed, calm, and grounded way. Over time, you will notice that you're able to handle challenging situations with greater ease, and your body will no longer automatically default to the stress response. In addition to these physical practices, emotional regulation is crucial in teaching your body to feel safe. Emotions, especially intense ones like fear and anxiety, can trigger physical reactions in the body. However, learning how to manage your emotions through techniques like mindfulness, journaling, or simply taking a moment to pause and breathe can help break the cycle of stress and tension. The more you practice emotional regulation, the more your body will respond in a way that feels safe and grounded. As you continue to practice these techniques,
Remember that this is a process. The more you engage in repetition, the more your body will learn to associate calmness with challenges. Over time, you'll notice a shift. Your body will no longer react to stress with fear or tension, but instead with resilience, flexibility, and strength. It's about creating a new pattern of response that supports your goals and your overall well-being. Finally, trust the process. It takes time to rewire the body's response to stress, but with consistent effort, you will get there. The key is to stay committed to your practice, no matter how small the progress may seem at first. Every breath, every stretch, every moment of mindfulness is a step toward retraining your body to feel safe and secure. When you teach your body to feel safe through repetition, you're not just improving your physical health, you're building emotional resilience, mental clarity, and a deep sense of inner strength. The more you practice, the more you'll realize that your body is not a barrier to your success, but a powerful ally in your journey. Through consistent repetition, you can unlock the full potential of your body and mind, creating a foundation for lasting success and fulfillment.
Chapter 17. Reprogram subconscious beliefs with focused daily intention. Your mind is a powerful force, but it's often driven by beliefs you don't even realize you hold. These subconscious beliefs shape the way you see yourself, your potential, and the world around you. They dictate how you respond to challenges, how you view success, and how you handle failure. But here's the good news: you can reprogram your subconscious mind. It's not a mystical process. It's a powerful, practical tool that you can harness through focused daily intention. The subconscious mind is like the operating system of your brain. It's responsible for everything from your automatic behaviors to the beliefs that run in the background of your consciousness. These beliefs are shaped by experiences, conditioning, and the environment you've grown up in. Over time, they become so deeply ingrained that you don't even question them. They simply dictate your reality. If you've ever wondered why you repeatedly self-sabotage or why certain negative patterns keep resurfacing, it's because of these subconscious beliefs. But here's the truth: the subconscious mind is not set in stone. You have the power to change it. The key is understanding that reprogramming your subconscious mind doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. It's about daily practice, intentional effort, and consistent repetition. The first step in reprogramming your subconscious mind is becoming aware of the beliefs that are holding you back. Think about your life right now. What areas do you struggle with the most? Are you constantly battling negative self-talk? Do you find it hard to trust yourself? Are you afraid of failure or success? These are often signs of limiting beliefs that have been etched into your subconscious. The first step is to get clear on what those beliefs are. Once you've identified the beliefs that are holding you back, you can start to challenge them. Ask yourself, is this belief really true? Or where did this belief come from? Often you'll find that the beliefs you hold aren't even based on facts. They're just stories you've been telling yourself for years. By questioning them, you begin to create space for new beliefs to take root. The next step is to replace the limiting beliefs with empowering ones. This is where focused daily intention comes into play. Reprogramming your subconscious mind requires conscious effort. It's not enough to simply think positive thoughts or hope for change. You need to actively work on shifting your mindset. And the best way to do this is through daily intention. Every morning, set an intention for the day. This could be something simple, like today, I choose to believe in my ability to succeed, or today, I release the fear of failure and embrace growth. Whatever the intention is, make sure it's aligned with the beliefs you want to adopt. The more you focus on this intention, the more it becomes ingrained in your subconscious mind. One powerful way to strengthen your intentions is through affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that help rewire your brain. When you repeat them daily, they begin to replace the negative, limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. For example, if you have a belief that you're not good enough, an affirmation might be, "I am worthy of success, and I have everything I need to achieve my goals." The key to effective affirmations is to speak them with conviction and belief. You're not just saying words, you're planting seeds in your subconscious mind that will grow over time. Another powerful tool for reprogramming your subconscious is visualization. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. When you visualize yourself achieving your goals, your subconscious mind begins to believe that it's possible. Visualization helps create a mental blueprint of success, and the more vividly you imagine your desired outcome, the more real it becomes to your subconscious. Set aside time each day to visualize yourself already living the life you desire. See yourself confident, successful, and empowered. Feel the emotions of that success in your body. The more you engage with this visualization, the more your subconscious will align with it. Gratitude is another tool that works wonders for shifting your subconscious beliefs. When you practice gratitude, you're training your brain to focus on the positive aspects of your life, rather than the negative. The more you express gratitude for what you have and what you're becoming, the more your subconscious will start to shift towards abundance. Gratitude helps to reprogram the brain by creating new neural pathways that support positive beliefs and emotions. Another powerful technique to reprogram your subconscious is to surround yourself with positive influences. Your environment plays a huge role in shaping your beliefs. If you're constantly exposed to negativity or surrounded by people who hold limiting beliefs, it can be difficult to change your own. On the other hand, when you immerse yourself in positive, supportive environments, your beliefs naturally begin to shift. This could mean spending more time with people who inspire you, reading books that uplift you, or consuming content that aligns with the beliefs you want to adopt. Surround yourself with messages of positivity and success, and your subconscious will begin to internalize these beliefs. Consistency is the key to reprogramming your subconscious. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results, but remember that change takes time, just like any habit. Reprogramming your subconscious mind requires repetition. The more consistently you practice these techniques, the more your subconscious mind will begin to align with your desires. You may encounter resistance along the way. Old beliefs can resurface, especially when you're stepping outside your comfort zone. But this resistance is a sign that you're making progress. It's the old programming fighting to maintain control. Don't be discouraged. Instead, use it as fuel to keep going. The more you persist, the stronger your new beliefs will become. Remember that reprogramming your subconscious mind is not about perfection, it's about progress. Every day, with each intention, affirmation, and visualization, you're moving closer to the person you want to be. The key is to stay consistent, patient, and persistent. Over time, your subconscious will begin to reflect the beliefs you've consciously chosen, and you'll find that your actions, decisions, and results begin to align with your true potential. The power to change your life is within you. By focusing on daily intention and consciously reprogramming your subconscious beliefs, you can create a new reality. It's not about wishing for change, it's about taking deliberate, focused action every single day. As you continue to practice these techniques, you'll notice profound shifts in your mindset, behavior, and life. And with time, you'll realize that the life you've always dreamed of is not only possible, it's already unfolding before you. Chapter 18. Strengthen emotional resilience with consistent breathwork practice. You have within you a hidden power, a force so profound that it can transform your emotional state, calm your mind, and fortify your resilience in the face of adversity. This power lies in the simple yet profound act of breathing. Every single breath you take carries the potential to change your emotional landscape and strengthen your mental fortitude. In the midst of stress, anxiety, or uncertainty, the breath is your anchor, and with consistent breathwork practice, you can build emotional resilience that will carry you through life's toughest moments. Emotions are powerful forces. They can shape our actions, influence our thoughts, and dictate the course of our lives. But when emotions are left unchecked, they can easily spiral into stress, anxiety, or overwhelm. It's easy to feel like we're at the mercy of our emotions, but the truth is, we have far more control than we realize. Breathwork is one of the most effective tools for gaining control over your emotional responses, for returning to a state of calm when life feels overwhelming, and for developing a deep emotional resilience that won't easily be shaken. The power of breath is not just a myth or a calming technique. It is a scientifically proven method for regulating the nervous system, reducing stress, and shifting your emotional state. When you consciously regulate your breath, you send signals to your brain that help shift your body from a state of fight or flight into one of calm and presence. Your body responds to your breath, and when you control the rhythm of your breath, you are also controlling the rhythm of your emotions. Breathwork can be a game changer for anyone looking to build emotional resilience. It's a practice that, when done consistently, can enhance your ability to remain calm, composed, and clear-minded during times of emotional turbulence. Whether you're dealing with anxiety, frustration, sadness, or stress, breathwork helps you navigate these emotions without being overwhelmed by them. But why exactly does breathwork have such a profound impact on our emotions? The answer lies in the connection between our breath and the autonomic nervous system, which controls many involuntary functions in the body, including heart rate, digestion, and stress responses. When we're under stress, our sympathetic nervous system is activated, triggering the fight or flight response. This increases heart rate, heightens awareness, and prepares the body to react quickly. While this response is helpful in situations of danger, it can also be triggered by everyday stresses, leading to chronic tension and emotional strain. On the other hand, when we focus on slow, deep, and controlled breathing, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the counterpart to the sympathetic system. This system is responsible for the rest and digest response, helping the body relax, lower heart rate, and return to a balanced state. By practicing breathwork, you can teach your nervous system to shift from a state of stress and tension into a state of calm and clarity. The more you practice this, the more resilient you become to life's challenges. Breathwork is also a gateway to self-awareness. When you consciously engage with your breath, you begin to tune into your body's sensations and emotional states. This mindfulness allows you to observe your emotions without immediately reacting to them. Instead of being swept away by feelings of anger, sadness, or frustration, you learn to sit with them, to breathe through them, and to observe them from a place of neutrality. This act of observing, rather than reacting, is a cornerstone of emotional resilience. It gives you the space to make intentional decisions rather than impulsive ones driven by raw emotion. Another powerful aspect of breathwork is its ability to create emotional release. Many of us store emotions in our bodies, especially in areas like the chest, shoulders, and stomach. Breathwork helps release these trapped emotions, allowing for a deep emotional cleanse. It's not uncommon to experience emotional breakthroughs during breathwork sessions, moments of clarity, peace, or even tears, as the breath facilitates the release of stored tension and pent-up emotions. This release is a crucial part of building emotional resilience, as it helps prevent emotions from building up and manifesting as stress or anxiety. To start building emotional resilience through breathwork, consistency is key. Like any practice, the benefits of breathwork compound over time. You won't necessarily notice immediate changes after just one session, but with consistent practice, you'll begin to see significant improvements in your emotional state. The more you practice, the more naturally you'll be able to tap into the calming power of your breath in moments of stress or emotional intensity. The first step in your breathwork journey is to simply take notice of your breath. Start by setting aside a few minutes each day to sit quietly and observe your breath. Notice how it feels as it enters and exits your body. Is it shallow? Are you holding your breath? Are you breathing deeply into your belly or only into your chest? Just notice without judgment. This simple awareness is the first step in creating a deeper connection with your breath and your body. Next, begin to practice controlled breathing. A simple technique to start with is deep belly breathing. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. As you inhale through your nose, focus on expanding your belly, not your chest. Exhale slowly and fully through your mouth. Repeat this process for several minutes, allowing yourself to relax with each breath. This type of breathing helps activate the parasympathetic nervous system, encouraging relaxation and reducing stress. As you progress in your breathwork practice, you can explore different techniques designed to enhance emotional resilience. Box breathing, for example, is a powerful method for calming the mind and body. To practice box breathing, inhale for a count of 4, hold the breath for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, and then hold again for a count of 4. Repeat this cycle several times, focusing on the rhythm of your breath. Box breathing helps regulate the nervous system and can be especially effective in high-stress situations. Another technique to explore is alternate nostril breathing, which helps balance the left and right hemispheres of the brain and promotes emotional equilibrium. To practice alternate nostril breathing, use your right thumb to close your right nostril. Inhale deeply through your left nostril, then use your right ring finger to close your left nostril. Release your right nostril and exhale fully. Inhale through your right nostril, then close it with your right thumb. Exhale through your left nostril. Repeat this process for several minutes, focusing on the flow of your breath and the sense of balance it creates. Over time, you'll notice that breathwork becomes not only a tool for emotional resilience, but also a pathway to greater emotional awareness and control. You'll learn to respond to life's challenges with calm clarity and confidence, rather than reacting impulsively from a place of fear or anxiety. You'll cultivate a sense of emotional steadiness that allows you to navigate difficult situations with ease. Breathwork is also a tool for self-care. In the busyness of life, it's easy to neglect our emotional health. But by setting aside time each day to practice breathwork, you're prioritizing your well-being. You're giving yourself the space to release tension, process emotions, and restore balance. Just as you would make time for physical exercise, make breathwork a daily practice in your life. As you continue to strengthen your emotional resilience through breathwork, you'll begin to see changes in your overall outlook on life. You'll feel more grounded, more present, and more capable of handling whatever comes your way. Emotional resilience isn't about avoiding difficult emotions or situations. It's about building the inner strength to face them with composure and grace. Breathwork is the foundation upon which this strength is built. In moments of stress, anxiety, or overwhelm, remember that your breath is always there to guide you back to center. Take a deep breath
and know that with each inhale you are reinforcing your emotional resilience. With each exhale you are letting go of the tension, fear and doubt that once held you back. And with every breath, you are becoming stronger, more balanced and more capable of navigating the emotional challenges that life presents. The practice of breathwork is not just a temporary fix, it is a lifelong tool that you can rely on whenever you need it. It's an invitation to return to yourself, to reconnect with your inner strength, and to cultivate the emotional resilience that will carry you through any storm. Through consistent practice, you will discover that you have the power to create calm within chaos and resilience in the face of adversity.
Chapter 19. Replace fear-driven reactions with conscious, loving responses. You have the power to completely shift the way you react to the world around you. Instead of being ruled by fear and allowing it to dictate your actions, you can choose to respond with love, compassion, and consciousness. The world is full of moments that can trigger fear, the unknown, failure, rejection, judgment. But what if you could replace those knee-jerk, fear-driven reactions with loving, conscious responses? What if, instead of shrinking back in fear, you met each challenge with courage, calm, and a sense of love that begins within you? Fear is one of the most primal emotions we experience. It is deeply embedded in our biology, wired into our survival instincts. In the face of perceived danger, fear triggers a fight-or-flight response. While this was once vital for survival, today many of us experience fear in ways that are no longer life-threatening. Fear often arises in response to challenges like public speaking, confrontation, or the uncertainty of the future. These triggers can cause us to react from a place of defensiveness, anxiety, or avoidance. We might lash out, close ourselves off, or withdraw. But these fear-driven reactions limit our growth, peace, and potential. They keep us stuck in patterns that don't serve us, preventing us from accessing the full power of love, presence, and mindfulness. But there is a way out. It's not about eliminating fear, because fear will always be a part of the human experience, but it is about transforming the way we respond to it. The key to this transformation is to replace fear-driven reactions with conscious, loving responses. When you begin to recognize fear for what it is, a natural human emotion that doesn't have to control your actions, you create the space for a higher, more intentional response. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can pause, breathe, and choose how to respond with clarity and love. One of the first steps in replacing fear-driven reactions with conscious, loving responses is to understand the difference between fear and love. Fear often comes from a place of scarcity, anxiety, or perceived threat. It tells us that there is something we need to protect, something we stand to lose, or something that could hurt us. It is rooted in insecurity and the belief that we are not enough, that we are inadequate or powerless in some way. Fear often leads us to close off, to hold back, or to run away. Love, on the other hand, comes from a place of abundance, trust, and acceptance. Love is expansive and inclusive. It has no need to protect or defend. Love encourages connection, growth, and understanding. It invites us to see the world through a lens of compassion, empathy, and kindness. When we respond to life from a place of love, we embrace challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats to our safety. We meet fear with understanding and choose to act from a place of calm confidence rather than panic. To make this shift, you must first learn to notice when fear is driving your reactions. It's easy to fall into automatic patterns, especially in stressful or unfamiliar situations. But every time fear triggers a reaction, it's an opportunity to pause, reflect, and choose something different. The key here is awareness. When you become conscious of your emotional state, you gain the power to change it. You can choose to move from reaction to response, from fear to love. One of the most powerful tools in this process is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and aware of your thoughts, emotions, and reactions without judgment. It allows you to observe fear as it arises, without immediately acting on it. Mindfulness creates the space between stimulus and response, enabling you to choose how to respond, rather than simply reacting from a place of fear. This practice of observing your thoughts and feelings can help you become more attuned to when fear is influencing your behavior. Another helpful practice is deep breathing. When you find yourself triggered by fear, take a moment to breathe deeply. Breathe in slowly through your nose, allowing your belly to expand, and exhale gently through your mouth. This simple act of focused breathing helps to calm your nervous system and ground you in the present moment. By slowing your breath, you signal to your body that it is safe, that there is no immediate danger. This pause gives you the opportunity to make a conscious choice about how to respond, rather than simply reacting out of fear. Once you've created that space between fear and reaction, you can begin to consciously choose a response rooted in love. One of the most transformative ways to respond to fear is by choosing to act from a place of compassion. Instead of reacting with anger, judgment, or defensiveness, you can choose to respond with understanding and empathy. If you find yourself feeling fearful in a confrontation, for example, instead of lashing out or withdrawing, try responding with a kind and open-minded approach. Ask yourself, what would love look like in this moment? And trust that the loving response will lead to a far more productive and fulfilling outcome than a fear-driven one. It's also helpful to remind yourself that fear is not a reflection of your true self. Fear often arises from our egos, the part of us that seeks validation, approval, and safety. But your true essence is love, and when you connect with that truth, fear loses its power. When you practice responding to fear with love, you are aligning with the deepest part of who you are. You are not your fears, you are the love that transcends them. A loving response to fear also involves letting go of the need for control. Often fear arises when we feel that something is beyond our control. We fear the unknown, the future, or the outcomes of our actions. But when we respond with love, we trust that everything will unfold as it's meant to, and that we can handle whatever comes our way. Love allows us to release the need for perfection and embrace life as it is, imperfect, unpredictable, and full of opportunity. A key part of this transformation is also to practice self-compassion. Often fear arises from the belief that we are not enough, or that we will fail. We judge ourselves harshly, criticize ourselves for not being perfect, and feel inadequate. This inner dialogue fuels our fear and keeps us trapped in negative patterns. But when we practice self-compassion, we shift our relationship with ourselves. Instead of criticizing ourselves for our imperfections, we respond with kindness and understanding. We recognize that it's okay to be human, that it's okay to make mistakes, and that we are worthy of love and acceptance, just as we are. When you replace fear-driven reactions with conscious, loving responses, you change the entire energy of your life. You become a person who responds to challenges with poise, patience, and wisdom. Instead of being at the mercy of your fears, you become the master of your emotions. You are no longer a prisoner of the stories fear tells you. You are free to choose love, to choose connection, and to choose growth. This shift is not an overnight process, but it is a powerful and life-changing one. It requires practice, patience, and dedication. But every time you choose a loving response, instead of a fear-driven reaction, you are rewiring your brain, changing your emotional patterns, and strengthening your resilience. With time, you'll find that fear no longer has the same hold over you. It will still come, but you will respond to it with calm clarity and love. Remember, fear is a natural part of life, but it does not have to control you. You have the power to transform your responses, to replace fear with love, and to navigate life with courage, compassion, and presence. Every moment is an opportunity to choose love over fear, to create the life you truly desire. The more you practice this, the more natural it will become. And soon you'll realize that the loving response is always the most powerful one.
Chapter 20. Commit to stillness every day to restore balance. In the chaos of modern life, one of the most powerful commitments you can make is to embrace stillness every single day. Stillness is not just about physical calm. It's about creating a space where your mind, body, and soul can truly restore. It's about reclaiming balance, peace, and focus amid the noise, the stress, and the constant demands of life. You've been told that you need to keep moving, that you need to hustle, that you need to be constantly doing in order to succeed. But in reality, it's in the moments of stillness that you find your true power. When you commit to stillness each day, you unlock the key to lasting balance and unshakable inner strength. Think about it for a moment. We live in a world that values activity, busyness, and constant motion. Everywhere you look, someone is on the go, multitasking, and filling every moment with noise. It's easy to get swept up in this frenzy, to think that in order to be productive or successful, you need to be in constant motion. But in truth, this kind of lifestyle leads to burnout, confusion, and a lack of clarity. The constant doing leaves little room for being. The constant striving leaves no space for reflection. And without stillness, there's no way to recalibrate, no way to reconnect with your true self. Stillness is a practice of presence. It's about being fully engaged with the moment, not distracted by what happened yesterday or worried about what will happen tomorrow. When you commit to stillness, you are actively choosing to step out of the noise and the chaos and into a space where you can hear your own thoughts, feel your own emotions, and connect with your inner wisdom. In this space, you can reflect on your day, your goals, your dreams, and your challenges. You can reconnect with your purpose and restore your energy. It is in this space of stillness that you find clarity, calm, and focus, which are essential for creating a balanced life. Every day offers an opportunity to make stillness a habit, a commitment. It doesn't matter how long or short your stillness practice is. What matters is your intention behind it. It's not about the number of minutes you spend sitting in silence. It's about the depth of presence you bring to those moments. It's about being fully in the here and now, releasing the need for external validation and reconnecting with your true self. This practice of stillness allows you to restore balance in a world that often demands your attention in 1,000 directions at once. To truly commit to stillness every day, you must begin by making it a non-negotiable part of your routine. The power of consistency cannot be overstated. It's easy to say, "I'll do it tomorrow," or "I'll get to it when I have time," but the truth is that time won't magically open up for you unless you prioritize it. Your stillness practice must be scheduled into your day, just like any other essential task. It doesn't have to be long. A few minutes in the morning or before bed can make a profound impact. But it must be consistent. It is the small daily actions that compound over time to create lasting transformation. In the moments of stillness, you begin to tune into your thoughts, your emotions, and your body. You create a space where you can notice what's going on inside you, what's weighing on your mind. What are your fears, doubts, and worries? What are the thoughts that keep you up at night? Stillness allows you to observe these things without judgment, without rushing to fix them. Instead of being overwhelmed by your thoughts, you create the space to acknowledge them, to accept them,
and to allow them to pass. This practice teaches you to stop reacting to every thought and emotion as if it demands immediate attention. You begin to see that not every thought needs to be acted upon, and not every feeling needs to be fixed. Some of them simply need to be witnessed, understood, and released. Stillness also allows you to reconnect with your breath, which is one of the most powerful tools for restoring balance and calming the mind. In moments of stress or overwhelm, your breath often becomes shallow and rapid. But in stillness, you can bring your focus to your breath, taking slow, deep inhales and exhales. With each breath, you release tension, clear your mind, and bring yourself back into the present moment. Your breath is a direct link to your nervous system, and by consciously slowing your breath, you signal to your body that it is safe, that there is no need to rush or react. You are reminded that you have control over your body and your mind, and in those moments, you create the space to restore balance within yourself. Another benefit of committing to stillness each day is the clarity it provides. In the noise of daily life, it can be easy to lose sight of your goals, your vision, and your purpose. You might find yourself reacting to life's circumstances instead of actively creating the life you want. But in stillness, you gain the clarity to see where you are and where you want to go. You can reflect on your progress, reevaluate your priorities, and reconnect with your deepest desires. Stillness allows you to step outside of the whirlwind of daily tasks and reconnect with your vision. It's in these moments that you can align yourself with your higher purpose, make adjustments to your course, and ensure that you are moving in the direction that truly matters to you. Stillness also allows you to restore emotional balance. Life can throw a lot of challenges your way, and it's easy to get caught up in the emotional turbulence of those challenges. But when you commit to stillness, you give yourself the opportunity to reset emotionally. You can process your emotions, let go of any emotional baggage, and restore a sense of inner calm. Stillness helps you release stress, anxiety, and fear, allowing you to approach life with a greater sense of peace and emotional resilience. As you commit to stillness, you also begin to cultivate self-awareness. When you make space for stillness, you allow yourself the chance to become more attuned to your inner world. You notice your patterns of thought, behavior, and emotion. You become more aware of your reactions to situations and how they may be rooted in old habits or beliefs. This awareness gives you the opportunity to make conscious choices about how you want to respond to life's challenges. Instead of reacting from a place of stress or fear, you can respond from a place of clarity, calm, and intentionality. In stillness, you learn to trust yourself. You learn to listen to your intuition, to follow your inner guidance, and to rely on the wisdom that already exists within you. Stillness allows you to hear the quiet voice of your inner wisdom that is often drowned out by the noise of the world. When you practice stillness, you begin to trust that you have the answers you need within you. You develop a deeper sense of confidence and self-assurance, knowing that you are capable of navigating any challenge with calm and clarity. As you make stillness a daily habit, you will notice that it begins to ripple out into every area of your life. You will respond to challenges with greater calm, patience, and wisdom. You will find that you are less